Hello, hello, and welcome. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, depending where you are on the planet. It's Roller Winter Monday. Welcome, everyone. It's good to be here today. It's much nicer today than it has been. Hey, don't forget about the road check. That New Hampshire motorcycle crash, remember about that a while ago where that guy in that pickup truck killed all those people? Yeah, there's an update in that. Okay, barriers to women in trucking. What are they? Holy mackerel, the federal government is going to study it. If you're a woman, or anybody, what do you think the barriers are anyways? The Department of Labor has a letter about sleeper compensation. Pretty interesting. I thought it was sent by a company. Yeah, interesting. Stocks, and I got some diesel prices too. I thought that was pretty good. Diesel's been creeping up for those of you that purchase it out of your own monies. But I'm sure you know that if you're the one buying it. Holy mackerel. What are we doing here? So, hello, and Michael Muller was first the other day, and followed closely by Tina Jones. And today, Wild Bill was first today. So, welcome, everyone. It's good to see you, Supernova. I'd love to hear about the detention that's going on there. How much is too much unpaid detention? And how much were you getting, really, say, in a week, unpaid detention? I kind of thought it was paid there, to be honest with you, at TMC. John Emmel is here. Hello. Dwight, hello there. It's good to see you, John Emmel. Sorry, I took a box truck bandit. Nice. A day cab gear jammer. What's going on? George Wilson is here today. Professor P. That's pretty good. Professor P. Hello, Kelly Patterson. From GP headquarters. What's going on? Are you out playing basketball there in the fresh basketball court they just built? Nice, Tina. So, Mark Ely is here. What's up? Trucker Hershey is here today. Glitter Sparkle. I love it. Glitter. Covered with it. Can't ever get rid of it. That's how that goes. Donkey Bite, right? Wilbon 79. Hello there today. George Costanza's here. Hello from Idaho. Empty in Lewiston. Waiting on 34-hour reset. Oh, sweet. Well, at least you get some time off, and I hope they at least give you some way to stay warm. I hear still a couple companies can't let you run the truck. Don't give you an APU. Love it. Better give you a motel. Alexandra. Hello there. Luke 1234, biggest pet peeves when people use exit or on ramps. I know. So I'm cruising, and somebody will go up the off ramp and come back down the on ramp in front of me. That just I hate when that happens. Holy mackerel! It's usually a cattle hauler too, so they beat you back down the other side, and they stop at the top of it. So that's pretty good. Chicken hauler, hello. Everybody get your wieners ready. I love it. It's wiener time. Misty is here today. George H.W. Bush, hello. Hello there. It's good to see you. Doug Barlow, I hope you're at least wearing underwear. Hey, can't see under the desk. Worse is when the left lanes go straight over the exit. Yeah, exactly. What about when the left lane's the exit lane? That was the thing. You're going to test Tina Jones testing Wednesday. What test? The final test? Is that the test that they talk about? All right. What do you think about that? And the weather's going to be nice that day, too. Billy Brigger's go Spartan style. Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's how it goes. You know, you've heard him out there at Ontario talking on the CB. You know what I'm talking about. Michael Muller, going to check 2-week stream. Okay, see you in a little bit. All right. I'll slow down to 60 left perfect. Alexander. Yeah, look, I slow down too. There's people creeping right up on you. I just hit the 1 mile an hour down. I don't know what people are doing. Freight isn't important. I know. What is going on? What are you going to save 10 seconds? Oh, congratulations. Kenneth, don't all truck stops in Nevada have casinos? Yeah, I saw that earlier, right? Pretty much the truck stops in Nevada have casinos. Even the smallest ones has got at least a couple slot machines or something, right? Tina Jones, men are the barrier. That's probably the biggest problem, right? Are the men drivers. Unfortunately, the government's not going to study that. They want to find out what the problem is and how they can change it to get women into trucking. They said only 7% of women are drivers, which is pretty much true. We hardly have any women drivers, as most places. And they don't even apply, probably rightly so. And so the government wants to get women in truck. What can it do to get women into trucking? And what do you think? What's the problem? So men, I think we agree it's mostly men. 90% of the problem are other men drivers. What can the government do to help women become drivers or encourage them? It wants to encourage people to become drivers. Trucker Hershey, Gorilla Glue. Yeah, I've got my hair care product up there. I'm trying to get sponsored by Gorilla Glue. I have bought some after that came out too. So remember, first Saturday in April, which is the 4th, I think. I'll be there in Brazil, Indiana with the Gorilla Glue. So at the OIDA truck. So first person that sees me can have some hair care product for themselves to use, just as seen on TV. and as seen on a video near you. Jeff Rays, hey, what's going on? I went to high school for 5.5 years and never got paid for detention. Nice. I heart crypto for celebrating Roller Wiener Monday. Every Monday we do this here for nearly 3 years or close to it. I think the barriers to women in trucking are men, right? Again, of course. I do agree with that. How do we change that? I mean, how do we change that? That starts early. That starts with the kids, right? Seeing their dads being tough guys because they got, issues, Sitting in my car while the truck gets worked on. Oh, well, go inside. Holy mackerel. Go inside there and go get some basketball going on. I know they have a huge basketball court. Drop my load, get a call 2 hours later. You're fired. Wasn't given an actual response. Oh, by the way, you're fired. Remember 2 hours ago? You're fired back then. That's what they said. And as every company, I think, it's at will. We're all on the bubble. I always encourage people to find some other way to make money besides a job if you depend on it. Look, if nothing else, like Falcon, think about Falcon. You could just be fired because the whole place closes. Always a risk. Kevin, good morning. Hey, don't laugh about Gorilla Glue. Just had hernia surgery. They stitch a hole inside, but they use some kind of super glue. Kenneth, that is correct. They do put a bunch of glue. My friend who had his kidney and liver transplanted and has gigantic scars, they used glue to, not completely, they had staples and glued them together. Yeah, with a Gorilla Glue, super glue type skin product. That is true. That is a true story. So maybe there's something to this. George Costanza, the only barrier to women in trucking is the work. Do women want to throw 80-pound tarps? Well, I don't even want to do that. Although people call me womany sometimes, I guess. Deal with snow and cold and wind? Well, that's true. Stay in the office. I like my freedom out here. Stay in the office. That's the problem. Why don't you get back in the office, honey, and get me some coffee? I don't think that's a good solution. It's mostly men, right? I think I agree with that, right? It's men not treating women well. Years ago, I remember not having women showers at the truck stop. There was a shower at the truck stop, and it was kind of like a Y. It seems like it was at the 76 truck stops where there were multiple shower heads. So now I guess that's not a problem, but Misty, my favorite days are Roller Wiener Monday, Taco Tuesday, and Flip Flop Friday. For some people, flip flop every day, especially now. It was so warm yesterday. Well, I almost considered flip flops, but then remembered no. So that's I decided that. Tina Jones, I saw a GP Transco yesterday on the way back from Louisville. I saw a blue Volvo this week too. A blue Volvo. I thought, wow, is that an owner operator? I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably an owner operator because they can have whatever they want there. So. As most places. Well, Bill, I'm merging on I-80 next to a GP Transco truck, a white one. See, always, it's a white Freightliner. Where are these teal trucks? They do not. I saw one. One trucker, she was nice enough to park there at the truck stop, but otherwise I've not been able to find it. You could say that as a barrier to women in trucking that men won't train them. Well, no, I don't know about that. But then with Me Too and other accusations, well, we put ourselves at risk. Well, why would the women want to go with a man in the truck? Let's be honest about that. That's probably not a great plan for the women. I'd be more scared being the woman in the truck, something happening than a man actually doing something. That's what I think about that. So, I don't know about that. And you don't have to have training, right? Not all companies require it. Number one, it's not required by the federal government, certainly. And you could train theoretically at a local company like Yellow, which I said last week, is hiring 1,500 people around the country and training locally. So you'd go out and come back the same day. You don't have to sleep in the truck with some dude. So I think that's partly better for women, certainly. And you can just go drive. There are companies that will just hire you. For women in trucking, I want free pedicures at the truck stop. Yikes, some of the men need that. Classes on semi-maintenance, and that will keep me happy. Yeah, they should do a little bit more on maintenance, I guess. Only checking your oil and stuff. Look, I'm not some, super trucker where I'm out, rebuild my truck with a vice grip and a paper clip. No, I don't know how to do anything to the truck. I could change the light bulbs, check the oil and stuff. Other than that, I call somebody. And really, companies anymore, as we all know, they don't want you fixing the truck. If I was out there doing fuel filters or whatever, they would not want that. They're like, don't do anything to the truck because they don't know if you know what you're doing. So it's not like the mechanics know what they're doing, but they pay them to know what they're doing. So I don't know about that. Do you think maybe women are more scared to do that stuff on the truck? I know my wife in a car. I don't know if she knows anything about cars at all. I don't know if she could check the oil on them. So but that's not all women. Alexander, I'm thinking about getting out of trucking. Really? or at least doing something local. I miss being home. I miss my family. Yeah, that day comes, right, for all of us. That day comes for everybody, and now it's here for you. There's local jobs for you where you'll make the same or close to the same money and be home every day and can see your family. Absolutely. You don't have to get out of trucking. You can just get off the road. No to the 80-pound tarps. Yeah. Well, look, we had a woman driver. She's not there anymore. The tarp would have weighed up close to what she weighed. I don't know if she could pick it up. But who wants to throw an 80-pound tarp? There's certainly jobs where you don't have to throw tarps. Like I only open the doors, and that's even infrequently. Jeff, here's an idea. Keep the government out and women out of, and women start your own company. Well, it's certainly hard to start a trucking company with zero experience, I think. Even buying your own truck, I mean, I know there's some owner-operators on here. What if you bought one truck, you have no experience, and you got your authority? I mean, wouldn't the insurance and stuff really kind of kill you on that kind of thing? Super glue was invented as an alternative to stitches during Vietnam. Highway freak. Okay, so it's actual super glue. They have it's medical grade super glue now. Probably just so that instead of charging you $4 for a tube of it, it's $300. But there's some kind of medical grade stuff. How do you deal with a problematic DM? You just leave them. Seriously, I mean, because it's not going to get better. If you go complain to somebody above and they go, hey, you're being a problem or whatever. So I think you just move on to the next DM. Seriously. You just don't mesh with everybody. Not everybody meshes with everybody. So just get the next one. It's just, and I would, even if they asked you to say something, I'm like, look, it's not personal. We're just not meshing. So let's, it isn't you, it's me. Say that. It's not you, it's me. Honestly, encountered far too many pervs, Misty, who think that their junk is some magic. Oh, and gals will be attracted if we see it, especially at truck stops. And hey, there's some magic down there. Yikes. That's incredible. Of course, that's after you get your license, though, right? You're already there. So, how do we get people to get their license, and then how do we weed the pervs out? You really can't. This is the industry that attracts it because people are anonymous. No one knows who you are. You're 1,000 miles from your house. That's who's attracted more so to this than, in other fields where they would work in an office with a bunch of people. So I think that's a problem. Paul Harris, I think you're mixing up the 76 with the Manhole. I think it bought the old 76. We're going to expand up there to the Chicago area. Columbia, Georgia, has anybody ever heard of a woman truck driver named Yo-Yo? PBS did an interview with her in the 70s. No. In the 70s. Can you still get that like on YouTube or something? Who besides me grills out at the truck stop west? I see people doing that every once in a while. I'll see grills out, a little smoke coming to think, oh, that truck's on fire. No, it's some dude grilling up his wiener. A company called Gordon's Truck Lines had teal trucks. They were absorbed by Heartland Express. Yeah, Gordon. GTI, right? GFI. It was Mitch, but Nikki dispatched me a few times. Wilbon. All right, I saw 2 teal trucks last week on I-40 conveying. Yeah, but not on this side, probably. They stay on the west side of the Mississippi River. George Costanza, having a wide open group shower means never having to wash your own back. That was true. That's true. Am I the only one that remembers this? I mean, I haven't been driving that long. There's plenty of people on here longer than me. But I remember some of them where you had to bring your own stuff, like a towel and whatever, and it was a room. Like the Y. So that's pretty good. Gross. I know. So Misty, right. So that is gross, and those people should be arrested. But I don't know how to weed those out so that women come into trucking. They'll hear that story and they're like, well, forget that. And that is how many in the public perceive us, rightly or wrongly. Come on, Amazon, get out of the middle lane. I'm surprised the truck can go that fast. You should back off because some of the parts are going to come flying off of that, old Century class, that old Schneider Century class. Misty, I was told when I trained at Pride it was male trainer or nothing. But Prime got sued for that years ago, maybe 10 years. It's been a long time. And they had a huge settlement with the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. They had to settle with the government and change their whole training program around so that it can't happen. So I don't know when they happened at Pride, but Prime had a huge deal with that. Changed around their program. Now you can go with anybody. They can't force you to go with somebody. There was a big deal about that. Yeah. But I agree. Would you want to go with somebody, a woman is going to go with some dude? Hey, time to get some training done. Oh my God, I don't want training. I can't go out with a male against my religion. Okay, Tina Jones, right. And that would be a good reason too. You wouldn't have to go out with a male. The problem is, if you're wait for a woman, it can be a long wait. It can be a long wait. Even large companies like Prime, if they only have a few percent of their women that are drivers, and then only some of those women train, it's a long wait. At a smaller place, it could be who knows how long of a wait. That is a problem. That's a problem. And I don't know how they solve that, because you can't make people train. You wouldn't want people to train, really. Open showers mean washing a Yeti's back. Look, you might get your hand stuck in the hair there. Gorgeous Sands, I agree. I'm not going to put myself at a temptation. It's not fair to the wife. I agree, right? If you're married, it's kind of weird. You're with that person more than you're with your wife or spouse or whatever you got at home. Like the Sierra England trainer did to his female trainee when he assaulted her, Michael Muller. That's exactly correct. That probably happens way more than it gets reported. Way more than it gets reported. Misty, your trainer was super respectful and we're still friends. That's good. And, look, let's be honest. Most people are going to be respectful, but it doesn't take that many percentage of people to give you a problem. Kenworth Raider, good afternoon. It's 85 in Florida. Well, okay, you get booted out of here. 85 degrees. It's still winter time. Does Gracie run local? Bobby, yes. Very local. Like within the house. Is there a woman company out there that's called Tribe? It's owned by a woman. Right, owned by a woman. But it's not mostly women drivers because there aren't that many women drivers. Even at Tribe, I think it's probably the majority of men. I'm sure just like everywhere else. She wouldn't be able to hire only women drivers. There's not enough of them. If you wear it, make it a parrot always. Please wear your parrot rather than talking on your phone. How is Gracie? She is tired as usual from eating breakfast, and I filled up the bird feeder again. She's out looking at all the birds. It's right there by her. She wishes she could get out there. I'm sure she fell asleep. She has a perch back there. She's probably sleeping on it. Canadian Tanker Yanker. Hello, Mark. Hello. What's happening? I guess you have a super trucker using super glue on the super single. Oh, that'd be a good way to fix your tires. Just slap that slap stuff on it from TV. That guy uses he made a whole boat out of it. Supernova. All right, my last week at TMC, I sat 28 hours. Wow. Waiting to get unloaded and didn't get a dime. They only paid attention if they get it. Yeah, see, that is garbage because they get it. And as an employee, why is that my problem as an employee? Plus, at TMC, you own the place. Remember? You should go in there, especially before you quit. You should say, look, I own this place, so I'm paying myself detention, and see what they say about that. Because they say, well, we're employee-owned. All the employees own it. How does an employee-owned place allow an employee to sit 28 hours and not pay them? Well, what's the rationale on that? Why aren't the employee owners changing anything there? That kind of stuff is so aggravating. George can stand to tip, though, so I appreciate it. Remember to grab the biggest, plumpest wiener and always add condiments. Pineapple goes on pizza just like relish goes on wieners. No. The wieners, yes. And the plumpest one may not be done yet. Oh, we got to make sure it's warm all the way through. You don't want to bite into it and it's all cold. I'll hold the door open for a lady at a truck stop. That's about it. Well, look, that's better than most people do. The suns are out, grills are out, other things are out too. Hey, Fleet Nav Systems is here. Happy Monday. It's good to see you. I helped to train a lady driver back in '89. She was excellent. It was a local run day cab woman. Followed orders better. Nice. Back when I drove, I did not follow orders. Well, look, everybody has their thing. They're either a good driver or not, and women would be the same as men, I think. And local, that'd be better that way. Kevin saw that yo-yo video. Really? By now, she should be retired, right? Driving in the 70s, although every once in a while I get a letter. I've been driving since 71. I'm like, wow. Maybe retirement time. I saw the interview with JoJo and the racing at 100 miles an hour on the track. Sweet. Kelly, grill steaks by the truck during nice days. Well, does that bring the boys by the yard? I'll tell you that. Alexandra, honestly, most men are kind of afraid to mess with me, my religious views and my music preferences. Right, and plus you get the knives. So you start sharpening those things up out there. And the axes. I saw the video of Yo-Yo yesterday. Oh, so much had just come out. I didn't know anything about it. We'll hold the door open for you too, though. Right. Is Pride still around? Yeah, absolutely. Right? The Lot Lizard came over and said, I'll do anything for $50. I said, paint my house. Hey, will you paint my house? Let's see, where did I go up to? Oh, expecting my spout for me, you'd probably just get it. Well, that's good. I'm in Scottsburg, Indiana, and it's 46 degrees. So, yeah, chillier today, but look, it was 61 here yesterday. Very nice. Of course, the cars got washed, which they always do on Sunday, so perfect. Perfect. Everything's clean. The wife's happy since her car got washed. Oh, where do I work? Well, I never get asked that, which is good. But for new people, I do this every Monday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. I don't really say where I work. That keeps them out of my videos. So many people. I got a letter this week from a driver, by the way. A letter from a driver that said he'd made a few videos against his company and they fired him. I'm like, and he said, what about freedom of speech? I go, no one said you can't make the video, but that doesn't mean there aren't consequences. So that's why I just keep them out of my videos, and they don't have anything to say about it. I think that's better, and I think that'd be better for everybody, really. That's how I do it here anyways. Hey, Mark, in that big showroom, do you remember Bill? He was the best. Oh, that guy was the greatest. He was like we called him English Muffin because he got in all the nooks and crannies. But it's really hard for the mega carriers to find a trainer for the other 72 genders. That would take a while. Spider brake, yikes. There is still a spider here, unfortunately. I've not been able to get rid of it. I don't know what to do with it. I'm almost afraid to mess with something that can kill you, really. That's always a little bit scary. This is one of the most poisonous spiders in the world, really. And so that's not great. Even Bridgie doesn't like that spider. Bridget. I don't know if she would mess with it or not. We'll have to see at some point. My trainer with CR England was really annoying. He woke me up at 3 hours into sleeper birth to show me how to slide tandems. Really? Hey, get up. Did he make you log that? Because training time is on duty. That's what you should have said, and I just said duty. But you should have said, hey, I'm going to log this then. Because any time I have to spend training is written out from the FMCSA as on duty. So you say, now my 10 hours starts again. That's how that should have worked. When are we getting a tour of the 50th anniversary T-Bird Game Gear Jammer? Yeah, that's an 05. And remember, I will tell you, all the 05s say 50th anniversary. They put that out there in their ad for that car. Oh, 50th anniversary. They all said that year. And that car's low miles, 28,000 miles on it. So 18.9, which is a little much, should be around 17. Nice 3.9 V8 from Jaguar. Don't forget the Super 10 transmission. Yeah, we can get that out there too. Alexander, where's Cash? I'm sure he's probably doing a live show somewhere or interviewing some nice lady at the truck stop. The Hool is here. Wiener Nation is ready. I think Gracie's the most local person here. Yes, that is true. She stays within, 100 feet of where she goes. Alexander, I'd talk to you. That'd probably be the extent of the interaction. Right. That's another reason why we become drivers, right? Not super social. So in the truck, you can be less social. Oh, Aviator Trucker. I had to put my cat down yesterday, so I streamed names, told it was an idiot, told it was worthless, and I feel bad for putting him down. Yikes. That's terrible. The cat gets treated, believe me, better than anybody in the house, basically. Kevin, in memory of my co-driver and brother, Scrappy. R.I.P. Scrappy. Thank you very much for that, and sorry about that. A tip for you, Misty. Well, I appreciate it. Not as big as the tips at the manhole. That's the truth. Oh, that is the quote of the day right there. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Talk about a loofah. Roller wieners are great laxatives. You forget the ones in the back that aren't ready yet. In the 28 hours, how many times did you have to make the bed? Donkey bite. That's very good. Here's the thing. Where were you for 28 hours? That's what I should have asked. So are you sitting at a customer for over a day? I don't remember ever sitting that long in a flatbed. That was always refrigerated, where I'd get those kind of long loads at Kraft or whatever. I'm not who, but that is definitely where I got that from. Nice. Mark's doesn't work. He just sells roller wieners on YouTube. I have rollerwiener.com on YouTube. I've been driving since 1900. Wow. Deep fry. You could. I wonder why they don't do that there. My trainer at Trans Am was transgender 15 years ago. All right. Well, hey, people got to drive. No problem. Be whatever you're going to be. Right? That's what I say. That spider could pick you up and throw you out your truck. I know. After it kills you. That's the thing. I don't want a spider that is so deadly. I don't want a spider as a pet anyway. Let's put it that way. But I certainly don't want a deadly one. Oh my gosh. It's scary just looking at it. My trainer shot at me, learned in the Air Force. Oh, sweet. Very good. Alexander, he's at home with my brother. Still scary. You need to get a sticker saying beware a poisonous spider. Enter at your own risk. I wonder if people would believe that. They would think it's some kind of lot lizard sticker, right? It's Gracie Union Cat. She's a shop steward for your cat. Absolutely. She supports collective bargaining. And if that doesn't work, to bite them. What do you think about GP Transco? They're on the show, and I've talked about GP Transco here many times. 28 hours, someone got arrested. Look, in 28 hours, you could almost be arrested. I mean, I can't imagine where you would sit in a flatbed for 28 hours. Were there facilities there? Was there at least a bathroom there? And when you're sitting 28 hours and messaging TMC, what do they say? You know, I'd certainly be messaging them about stuff. What are they saying? You know, my trainer did not know what a 3-point brake check was. That's where you pull up, back up, pull up, and then check your brakes. Is that... I had 4 Thunderbirds over my life. Misty, really? Sweet. Had an 80 Thunderbird, which was the first year that Ford put the number pads on the doors to get in, which they still do, which is a brilliant idea. And so 80 was when they downsized it a little bit, but you could still get a V8 in it. Personal luxury car. Liked it very much. Yep. I like that Thunderbird too that I saw. Just not that practical, a little overpriced, I think. So Grace goes 100 feet. You're saying that she's the long haul. Look, it takes her. She has to take a break during that time. You can't expect her to walk around the whole place all at once. You know, I got a free roller wiener from Pilot for my birthday. Is that on their app? Did they give that to you on their app? They go, look, here's a roller wiener for you. You could get, by the way, they have that deal at the manhole as well. So you get a free wiener on your birthday there too. Back in the day, classmate's dad had 2 pet spiders. It was like 5 inches across. And roamed around the apartment. The one was in a case. It was like, oh crap. Who lets a roaming spider around the apartment? I mean, what if you can't find it? Or how do you know that the one you kill is not that one? If you kill him, I take him outside. I'm the person that takes bugs outside. I do it. I don't kill them unless I have to. I get 7 MPW. Imagine Mark standing in the kitchen chair, broom in hand, waiting for his wife to come kill the spider. Kenneth, that is me, right? Have a piece of paper, though. I scoop them up, and they go outside. I do not kill them unless necessary. George Costanza. I sat at my customer 34 hours over the weekend to deliver this morning. I have tons of food, a lot of room for my dog, and I play at the work site. For my dog and I to play at the work site. Did you sit there, though, at your... was it your choice, or were you there and then had to wait that long? Because that's 2 different things. We're dealing with spiders. One could really be a recluse. Really? You're a nerd. Word, you drink Thunderbird. Yeah, look, drinking it, not where you're driving it. That 80 was a nice car. I had a hit and run Sunday with my car. Who did you hit? Hello from the great state of Alabama. Kill it. I don't kill them. There's no reason to kill them, so out they go. I don't want to think like, oh, I'm just going to kill everything on the planet. I don't like doing that. So for me, if it's alive and I can let it go, I do. Alexander, putting a Jaguar engine into 4 is like putting a nasty turd in a crystal bunch pole. Well, that's very good. That Thunderbird is built on the XF and Jaguar XF and Lincoln LS platform, so that's how they made that thing. And that's why it gets the Jaguar V8. So it's super smooth. And that one hardly has any miles on it. I'd call it working. If I get a lot of them, I guess. They let it out to walk around, then put it in the case again. Does it have a tiny little leash on it? How do you chip that thing? There's never been a person with a nickname Spider that has been a total problem. Look, if your nickname is Spider and you got all those tattoos and stuff on your face, that's a problem. Fast Joe, I do rehome spiders. That's true. Any bug that I could find somewhere gets put back outside. Spiders are friends, not food, and not pests. I agree, right. And so even a poisonous one, which I probably can tell the difference, I would set outside. The other one was no bueno, so they never let it walk around. What's the point of keeping it in a cage? I mean, honestly. Or in a little box or whatever. That's not where it's meant to live. In Battle class, we had a red-legged tarantula about that size. Was very tame. Kelly, yikes. Local spiders like 1-inch max. We have brown recluse spiders here in Indiana, certainly. So I'm always looking out for those. Of course, you don't kill spiders zilly, could come back to haunt you. No doubt. Right? I think any of that would be bad. Is $100 W-2 gross and only good? A mortgage is anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a month, and I make $1,600 a month. Well, look, Mr. Crowley, you can make more than $1,600 a month everywhere driving. That's $400 a week. $100 gross. I mean, is that a living wage? Not if you're paying $4,000 a month, right? Because you're making $2,000 a week. So that's half your pay. That's still not enough on $4,000 a month move. I mean, seriously, that if your mortgage is $4,000 a month, I cannot tell you the size house you could get here in Lafayette, Indiana for $4,000 a month. That's what, a $600,000 house, maybe $700,000 house. Oh my gosh, that's a mansion here. That is a mansion. CFI can't find integrity. You know, I don't get too many bad letters from CFI, to be honest with you. And people say they don't turn the camera on unless you have a problem there. So, you know, people seem to like the place. At least that contact me, George Costanza. I got there at midnight on Sunday morning. I did 650 miles a day for 3 days to do a reset. Best way to make money. So you're just waiting there anyway. Okay, so on your choice, not bad then. I guess I can't expect them to pay you for that. Tarantulas are good eating. Yuck. Not eating a spider. Holy mackerel. How I couldn't even pick it up. I'm certainly not going to eat it. I dated a lady in 94 that had one of the best 79 Thunderbirds. Silver, leather, all options. Bobby, right. Last year for that that body, that should have been a Heritage, right? 79, they had a Heritage Edition Thunderbird. Those were pretty nice. That was the 2 headlights behind the hidden thing. Those were very nice. Wide. Very wide and long. I have to kill it. I'm too scared to try to catch it and let it go. Tina, well, you get a big newspaper, right, and let it walk on the end of it and then walk that out the door. That's how I do it. Here's the link about Yo-Yo the Trucker. All right, well, check that out. Trolling crap companies is fun. I love doing it. Yeah, give them a call. Ask them some questions. See what they have to say. Also had a Python, and names were Starsky and Clutch. Oh, sweet. Ironically, Starsky and Clutch had an automatic. Trivia fact. Since I got paid by the hour, I might even be on overtime. If the shop is closed, I will change my own tire. If I need to have a flat, I remove and replace the tire while it's still in the truck. Yeah, that's more than I could do. I wouldn't know how to do that, to be honest with you, and they wouldn't want me doing that. If I call, you know, we have 24/7 road service like most places. I can get a tire changed. They'll send me somebody and give me a tire. I'm not changing the tire. I don't know how to do it. The 80s Fox body Thunderbirds are very underrated. You got the 5-liter, same as a Mustang, and it was comfortable. I know. Day cab gear jam, that's what I'm saying. And you had the latest Ford Tech in 80. They were putting all this extra tech in the car. Absolutely. Great car. Great car. Should still have it. Donkey bite. The new sign at the manhole, get your roller rainer hot in the rear. Some people came back disappointed. Well, you can always go get another one. Try a different one. Alexander, I'm tattooed, but not on my face. I do wear satanic crosses. Make of that what you will. Hey, absolutely. Free country, right? It's always the face tattoo that I think's prison. That's the impression I get. I don't care if people have tattoos or whatever. Lots of them, if you want. But once they start getting in your face, you think, if you're not Mike Tyson, you've probably been to prison. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Rover V8 was a Buick 215. That is for many years. They still use it. Can't remember if Jaguar used it, though. I don't think so. I think it went in the Rovers. And it was an old Buick engine from like the 60s. That is correct. That's an old piece of trivia from Jaguar Land Rover. Got bit by a brown recluse in 92. The hospital, they were about to ice bathe me. Temperature was 105.5. Tylenol brought it down by 3.75 degrees. Good. You were getting close to dying there from that thing. That's the thing that I worry about here, you know. Yeah, a week, right. I'm saying that, Mr. Crowley. That's just for $4,000. That's just not enough. If your mortgage is that much, I seriously would move. If I can't afford to live somewhere, you got to go. You can just move out into the, Inland Empire or whatever. It's cheaper. I got pulled up at the stop sign and leave the Menards, where you say big money, and the car in front of me pulled up 10 feet, put her car in reverse and gunned it. Then she ran. I chased down and took a picture of the plate. Sweet. Is she out to get you or something from a rival company? My science teacher said spiders are animals. They have 8 legs. They are not a bug. Okay, well, I won't put any bug, spider, or anything else to death if not necessary. How about that? That's how I do that kind of stuff. GP Transco, good morning. It's good to see you today. Hope all is going good in Illinois. I understand that there's openings at the basketball court. Lobsters and stuff are sea spiders. Well, I wouldn't put them outside. I guess they're already in the water. Look up the Sydney funnel web. Leaving it alone would be safer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's so big. That spider is so big. Putting it on a piece of paper, by the time I got it outside, it'd be going up my arm. There'd be much screaming. Fleet Nav Systems, spiders are arachnids, so not technically a bug. Your teacher's correct. Not technically a bug. Either way, that bug's going outside because it's bugging me. It's unreasonable to want a local job. Is it unreasonable to want a local job making $100,000? No, I want that too. It's certainly not unreasonable to want that. GP Transco is here today. I appreciate you coming in. If people would like to talk to them, right there, here we go. Fleet Nav Systems is here. They are the Geotab experts also, by the way. So I had a small story to say, I guess. Late last week, I got a call from a company that said, hey, Mark, now I'd talked to them last year. We'd still like you to come down and work here. They go, the guy we hired is not doing a good job, so can you come down? This is to run a little lot with a few drivers and be a spotter. The problem, and here's the thing about getting another job that you really have to look at, The job, I'd probably get a 30% pay raise or so overall, but they don't have health insurance because they're not big. This is the big versus small company, larger company. No insurance. They pay you $100 a week towards your insurance. That's it. I looked up insurance again. No way. $17.74 is the lowest decent policy I can get for two people. That's a month. Okay, that's $450 a week about. So no way. I need $450 a week more to break even without insurance. Just to buy insurance, and does not count, vacation and paid holidays, which they don't have, losing all that stuff. So remember, money isn't everything when you look for a job. Money is not everything. Better off taking a little less money if you need other benefits. When you get into your extreme over 30s like me, other benefits become quite important. If you look around on YouTube, there's a George Costanza picking his nose 10 hours link on YouTube. Wow, that's pretty impressive. And probably those kind of videos get millions of views, which is sad for somebody like me. So I let off a bug bomb in my truck once every 2 months. Really? What is going on in your truck? Holy mackerel. Yikes. Plus, you'd have all these dead bugs in your truck, If you're not a bigwig CEO company near you, no doubt. Hey, since you won't tell us who you work for, can you tell us who you don't work for every Monday till we narrow it down? Yes. The most guest company is JB Hunt, so let's eliminate them immediately. So I get those letters once a week, probably. GP Transco's quite chill. Just don't swipe their breakfast burritos. Yeah, free breakfast burritos, I understand, at possibility at GP Transco. Pretty nice. But you got to win the 3-point challenge there, though, on the court. Mr. Crowley making $6 gross a month and $3,000 mortgage lease, most of ours broke. You can't pay 50% of your pay in your living expenses. Here in LA, most of us don't qualify for a home without the help of a spouse. But paying 50% of your pay, no matter where you live, for your house. If you make $1,000 and you rent for $500, you can't do that. Okay. So you cannot spend 50% of your pay. If you can't make more, then quit and move somewhere else. Seriously. I'm serious about that. Move where it's cheaper. Move where it's cheap. It's cheap living in Lafayette. Come on over. So no problem. Because there's tons of apartments because of Purdue. So there are apartments all over the place. Heard you're insured your beard for $50,000. I use the same place that insures Chuck Norris's beard. So I got in contact with him, Joe, and that's how I got through that beard insurance. My grandpa had a 91 Thunderbird. Okay, so he had the next body yet, Gen 7 or whatever. 5-liter V8, and the air conditioner broke every summer that they had the car. Nice. Sweet. You don't need air when you're going with a 5-liter. All US V8s are from the 60s. Wow. We have some, look, the Mark 7 V8 was, dual overhead cam V8, pretty complex V8. So Mark will flip him a couple roller tacos. Those would be good. I've been to prison, didn't get a face tattoo, kind of bummed. Canadian tanker yanker. Well, we'll tell you, there's always a chance to go back. That's just the impression I get when I see somebody that has a bunch of face tattoos, and I think, oh, they've probably been in prison, because usually the face ones, you can look at a tattoo and say, all right, this person did this on their own free will, or they were held down by 6 other people that had this put on them. So, that's what I'm saying. Or what I think about GP Transco. GP Transco right there. Head on over, give them a call. They're rated one of the highest paying companies in the country. What do you think about that? Every company's individual. Every company's individual, though. People come here and then they quit. And I've been at my place 20 years, so just depends on what you want out of trucking, right? What's the name of that movie about spider arachnophobia? Is that what you got? I got the best spider illuminator on the market. It's called my foot. Oh, I'm not doing that. Living in the Midwest is cheap and the people are nice for the most part. Alexandra. Exactly. It's cheap living. Traffic's not terrible unless you live in a large city. And so you can still make a good living trucking. And because the expenses are lower, it's much better, I think. But if I couldn't do better than 50% of my pay as living expenses, I'd leave. I would actually leave, because you're never going to get anywhere spending half your money every month just to pay your mortgage or whatever. Can't imagine waiting 28 hours to get unloaded in flatbed. Waiting for free slavery. It is, and I've never waited that long in a flatbed. That's crazy waiting. I'd love to know what they said when you sent them a message that said, hey, I own this place, and so I'm leaving. That's always what I would use at a place like TMC that says, hey, we're employee owned. But you got a cool rap sheet. Yeah, at least you have a rap sheet over there, right? But did you see the spider in that movie? Yikes. Anyone is yikes, really. I saw a $900 million house in California. It was an outhouse sitting on 5,000 square feet. Kelly, I know. Aren't the house prices crazy? There's like $2 million houses that in Lafayette here would be $175,000. And I'm like, well, no wonder people need 12 jobs in Los Angeles. It's ridiculous. I don't know how people with a regular job can live there. You and your spouse both have to work 2 jobs each. That's not living. Get out of there. Do you catch fireflies during the summer and keep them in a jar? No. Taking gear jammer? Absolutely not. I have flashlights. I never thought that was right to do, really. I just don't like it. They're alive, right? Oh, where'd I go off to? Oh, my feet guard absorbed most of the impact. Car looks worse. Called insurance. Her car had no insurance. That's why she left. I had my son in the car since my dash cam. Decided to retire. Sweet. At least you got your son there. Yeah. So you're going to have to sue her for the money or go on your own insurance comprehensive. This teacher also drove lowboy in the summer for Barbara Green Pavers Equipment. I used to be a truck mechanic before I was a driver. I got tired of smelling like a truck stop, so I started hanging out in them. Well, so you know how to do all this stuff. See, I don't know how to do it, and they really don't want you doing it. They really don't want you doing it. Over 30s are a pain. Yeah, so I've heard. Once you get to your extreme upper 30s, it's even worse. It's even worse, right? I always pick my nose. They're my boogers. They are yours. Look, they're yours. You keep them. Use them how you want to use them. Happy Roll Arena Monday, and to all end users, Jim Trucker, it's good to see you. All right, I'd never buy California property. It was a joke about how stupidly high it is. It's crazy high. I don't know how you could. I mean, it's not like most drivers at least could finance a $2 million house. I just need a finance. They're all like $600, $800 a month. It's crazy. My company slip seats and they dump urine outside the door of my truck. While driving, we don't have a truck wash. So here may be another reason why women may not want to get into trucking. And honestly, men shouldn't want that either. I don't know why men do it. Can we stop living like animals for 5 minutes? That's what I'm saying. That's gross, and you should refuse that. Honestly. I know you said you couldn't be in your very own state. Rent mortgage should be no more than 25% of your take-home pay. Kelly, that's the only way you're ever going to make anything. If you keep it at a quarter of your net, then you can get ahead and actually have some money. If you're spending 50% of your gross on a mortgage or rent, oh my gosh, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to work till you drop dead and not have anything. Alexander, I would like to work 4 days, 12 hours. I have 3 days off to drink beer, watch hockey, and listen to metal. I will say, that's harder to do, but I've seen ads for 4-day-a-week companies, depending on where you live. So don't settle for less than you want. A temp service might be able to do that for you if you wanted to go that route. And a lot of them offer insurance and stuff if you need it. So that is a possibility. Michael Mother, don't you love government-run healthcare where instead of paying $800 a month as payment and $2,000 deductible, your insurance is only raising your taxes by $100 a year? Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love it. If I had that, I'd be able to change jobs. I will say that. I like Montana in summer, but no thanks in the winter. No doubt. At least you could afford to live there. Is Sierra, England still having those rape allegations? Well, that one person did allege that, and they're going through a trial with it. So I don't know about any more of those, certainly. Pushrod Nation hit nice. They're not all like that, but yes, I agree. Right, this gigantic V8 that's 190 horsepower. Got it, right. I agree. If there's a tattoo, then they're either been to prison or they're on their way. Well, if there's a face tattoo, that's the impression I get. Like the Post Malone kind of thing. Well, get a lot of face tattoos there. Can it be if Mark insured his beard for $50,000? What would it cost to insure that mustache? No doubt. That's a rider, as they say. I put a bug bomb in my truck as a preventative. Oh, okay, so nothing gets in. How long does it take to air that out then? Waiting for Canadian tanker yanker to pass out drunk. Then he'll wake up with a Swift reject tattoo. Nice. And a picture, too. GP Transco sighting in Pennsylvania. It was teal, but no picture. So picture, it never happened. Starting my week with a flat trailer tire. All right. That's pretty awesome. Nice. That's a good way to come in. I love coming in too, and I go to get a trailer and it's got a flat. And of course, you talk to the driver. He goes, "Well, it wasn't that way when I parked it, and there's like a big hole in it or something." I'm like, "Oh, it must have just blown out over the weekend." Got it. The teal deal. They should have teal deal on the trucks. Employee owned as a tax cut. Michael Muller. I agree. All right, come on. If it meant anything, you wouldn't have to sit 28 hours with no pay. But it doesn't really mean anything. People always write to me, but Mark, what market's employee owned? Well, so what? What does that get you? Nothing, really. Kelly, the spider in the movie Arachnophobia was a Brazilian tarantula, and its name is Bo. And it only span of 12 inches. If your spider is so large that you have to name it, okay, it needs to be, in a spider museum or zoo or wherever they go. Wherever they go, not in your house. Fleet Nav, he was in middle school. My high school teacher pulled next to me at Bolton's Quarry in Plainfield. That's not that far from here. Drivers are weird sometimes. Make sure you clean out your cab because we're tilting it. Bowling ball goes through the windshield. Oh, right. You people that don't remember, you need that cab over and they needed to work on the engine, or when you would take it in for service, they'd all say make sure you secure everything or take it out, because when they tilted it up, everything in the sleeper would bash against the windshield. And so every once in a while you'd get somebody that was something heavy that would go through the windshield, right? Or a bowling ball or something weird like that, or an axe. I've put her plate on the Ring doorbell community page, just hit and run. Okay, did it work? I mean, can you, I don't know about this state. Can you go to the State Department of Motor Vehicles and get the plate? I mean, go to the police, make a police report. They ought to be able to give you the person's information. You better boot me too, because I'm in Florida and it's 85 and sunny, Robert. Sweet. Booted. That's two people today. I got to boot out of here. 85. It's winter time. It's only March 1st. By the way, a week, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, turn your clocks back. Most houses in California sell for cash. If you need a mortgage, you can't afford it. Oh, okay. Would you just bring like a suitcase in? Who has $2 million of cash to buy a house? My family and I are going to move to South Carolina next year. All right, it's cheap there. Better weather. My best teachers had lots of jobs outside of teaching. Give them better experience to teach. Fleet Nav Systems. Oh, okay. Can't beat a BMW V12. Yeah, for straight cruise mobility, absolutely. A lot of grocery delivery driving jobs are local and 4 days a week. Okay. Generally have two routes, Monday the same as Thursday and Friday the same as Friday. All right, day cab gear jammer, that's not a bad idea. I wonder about that. You can actually get the V6 or 10. M70s are no bueno. Well, we'll take whatever we can get. My mortgage is 22.5% of my income, Luke. So then you have some money to be able to, still live. But there are people that do have 50% or more of their gross as a mortgage. And that's crazy. Okay, if you're making $4,000 gross and your mortgage is $2,000, you're never going to make it. You're barely going to get every week. We can make it Timbits lover. Timbits lover. 4 days on 4 off with insurance benefits. A 401k bonuses if you have experienced 57,000 start and raises later. Steel horse. All right. That's right. They do have different plans there. That's very good. We moved to South Carolina from Buffalo about 12 years ago. No doubt. You're loving it, especially in the wintertime. Will I take the V12 from the BMW or Mercedes over any of them? Going to have to take off around 1:30 today, just in case anyone has any questions about Geotab. All right. Well, thank you for that. We live in Illinois. Well, I would go make a police report, of course, and then ask the cops to give you their person's information so you can sue them. Otherwise, you're going to have to subpoena the information. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can put the plate in and get it that way. I don't know if you can do that in the state or not. It's 45 here in East St. Louis, Illinois, Alexander. All right. What's going on? Are you at Hershey or whatever that is over there and close to East St. Louis? Trucking tips. I'm late. Hope all is well today. Hey, it's good to see you today. The M70 is a hack job. Yikes. Mark, we're live streaming with Fleetio. What's Fleetio? About their maintenance management software at 3 p.m. on the 19th. Should have the thumbnail up in a week or so. All right. That'll be pretty good. Fleetio. That's pretty good. Never had a problem with the 10 years I had my 750 IL. I saw those here. I always wanted one. I thought, I'm going to get one of those. Never got one. Just never went that route. Is that the main problem then? Because the government is going to study this. Is that the main problem in getting women into trucking? Not once you're here and you get treated poorly, which I guess women could expect. Shouldn't have to expect it, but is likely to happen. What stops women from getting into trucking? I mean, we have a few women on here. What got you into trucking to get started? Why did you think, I'm going to go into trucking as opposed to any other career that you could go into? And were there any barriers to you? Now, this motorcycle crash in New Hampshire, if you remember this guy whose name I can't pronounce, it has a lot of Z's and Y's in it. This happened a while ago. He was pulling a pickup truck with a trailer across the center line and killed a number of motorcyclists. Okay, that were marine motorcyclists. I can't remember the name of the group. Anyhow, so now the owners of that trucking company were charged in federal court with falsifying logs and false statements because they lied about falsifying the logs. And I thought, well, that's super ironic. So if they'd have said we falsified the logs, I guess they wouldn't be charged with false informing. So, but the couple of the owners of that company are being charged in federal court with falsifying logbooks of this driver and other drivers at the company, allowing them to drive more hours, of course. So that's the next thing in that. This other guy's still waiting for his trial. But that's what's happening with this now. Remember, in this case, some of the motorcyclists were way over the limit, like 0.13. So there's a lot of blame to go around here. Nobody should be out driving over hours or drunk. So, but they died because that's what happens on a motorcycle. You generally lose that stuff. That's what's happening in that case. The owners charged federal crimes, lying and falsifying logs for drivers. Mr. Crowley, JB Hunt pays $80 to $100 a year, so they advertise. Okay, and I've asked people to write to me on that. I haven't had anybody writing to me at 80, 90 grand, 100 grand. 6-day, 12 to 14-hour shifts. That's a long day. That's not a living wage in Los Angeles. See, that's a problem. If 100 grand, look, seriously, it's not a living wage. You're not going to get 200 out of a trucking company. You're just not. You can't go to a company like JB Hunt or whatever and go, I need 200,000. That's not going to happen. They need to up their pay, especially if you work nights and weekends. 100 grand? I mean, that's here. You could live like a king if you lived here and did that for JB Hunt. If you just made that, if they're actually paying 100 and you moved here and they paid 100 here, you'd live great in Lafayette, Indiana. I recommend it. So, I mean, just moving would change your whole life. Your wife wouldn't have to work if you're, or your spouse or whatever wouldn't have to work. I mean, move. If 100 is not enough, working 14 hours a day, there's no point in working at that place. Columbia, Georgia, I just finished fueling my truck at the Flying J in Aurora, Oregon. Now I'm going to go get it my 2 roller wieners and refill my half-gallon mug of Mountain Dew. That's how drivers start out with that big jug of Mountain Dew. The wife likes Diet Mountain Dew. So can you imagine getting a $17,000 electric bill after having no electricity for a couple of days during a winter storm? Well, I'm on both sides of that too. People sign up for this market rate electric. And for many months, people were getting a $60 electric bill, which is pretty good. Okay. I don't have a big place. And in the winter, I go to 140 or so a month. So, but then on the other side of the market is the market goes up. So that's a big problem. Why don't truckers fight for a 40-hour week with a decent wage, Mr. Crowley? Well, they did. It was called the 1970s. And so drivers won't stand together for anything, even at one company, which is the solution, to go to a company like TMC, apparently, where they don't have detention and say, we're not going to wait for free. But they won't do it. So the only ones that get paid for these wages are drivers that get paid hourly or get paid for all of their time. Alexandra, I'm waiting for recap bars to build up at the pilot truck stop across the street from Madison Speedway. Oh, I'm headed to Chicago, drop there, pick up a couple blocks away, and head back to Iowa. All right, fair enough. I know there's Hershey over there close to the border. Don't forget the coffee. You pop fiend, yeah, no doubt. We did an interview on YouTube with our support agent, Sarah, back in November, where he asked her about what got her into trucking. What did get her into trucking? What is the cliff notes of that? What prompted her to decide, you know what, I'm going to go into trucking? Because the government is going to study this, the federal government is going to study why don't women get into trucking. My son took a picture of the plate. Oh, great. So I have it for the police report and insurance. Ran her plate, and that's how we found there's no insurance. Okay, so you're stuck. Since she doesn't have insurance, I'd report her. It's probably illegal. Cops won't do anything, but worth the report, and tell her to pay it and give her 10 days. 10 business days. That's how I would do it. Not legal advice. You're going to have to contact the local FMCSA field office for that. But I'd give her, send her a certified letter, 10 days, pay it. If not, go to court. And that's the only thing you can do. Or turn it into your insurance, have them pay it, and then they'll sue her because you'll sign a subrogation clause, which allows them to take the case over for you. Do you catch mosquitoes and let them go? If I can, I do try not to kill even mosquitoes. Did I miss the comment about Pride Trucking, Tina Jones? No, I don't think so. Pride woman owned, right? No, that's Tribe. Pride Trucking. Yeah, hiring. I like trucking. I followed a man. Oh, okay. Fair enough. And you like it. All right. All right. That's good enough. And still like it, apparently. I called Point Dedicated in Troy. They're offering $19 an hour. It's a union job. This is for a local driver, not over the road. But yes, it is $245. But over the road, it's $245 a day. $19 an hour union. What kind of union is that? Okay, a bad one. But I thought the $245 a day. That's what I thought about. Is look, $245 a day flat is good because they paid every day, including resets, including everything. It was $245 a day. That's $17.15, basically guaranteed, because it didn't matter if they ran you or not, as long as you're available. If they don't have anything for you or you have to sit or whatever, that's their problem. That's unusual in trucking, I thought. So it solves the problem of how much of this do I get paid? Here's the thing. This TMC driver sat 28 hours for free. The same driver Point Dedicated would have made $245 plus a few more hours into the next day. So that's the problem with it. Even in Portland, $80,000 a year for a family of four is considered poverty. But that's in city proper. Yeah, and so in a large city, $80,000, not enough. So move. I mean, seriously, there's no point in working your life just to support a house and buy a car so you can go to work, so you can buy another car to go to work. I mean, right? What's the point of that? The USA is the richest country in the world, but people still need to work 2 to 3 jobs. Well, people don't need to work 2 or 3 jobs, Michael Baller. People need to move. If you're in a city that is basically doesn't support you, you got to move to where it could. Here, living outside of major cities is inexpensive. What about East Armpit? Some of the cheapest housing prices in the United States. If you could start over your career, would you drive for freight? I would have stayed there. Yeah, Dopala, I did. I've talked about that before. Very early on, I don't know how long I'd been driving, a year? Maybe. I got hired at Roadway in not South Holland, but they're people from the Chicago area know, down 394, can't remember the city, right outside Chicago. And they hired me. I guess because I was a young person, but so I go in, did the orientation, everything, but they said at orientation, everybody that goes beyond today, they said you will be on call for up to, a year, 2 years. They didn't know how long. It was a seniority board union. You would be guaranteed 40 hours a week, but you wouldn't be guaranteed when those hours were. And you would be called with a 2-hour call-in every even hour. I remember that. So he goes, so if we don't call you at 2, we won't call you until 4. So you have that time off. And if we didn't call you that day, that was one of your days off. You have to answer. And if we get your machine, that's as good as talking to you. If you don't come in, you're fired. But once you get on the board or whatever, you'd have a regular running. You just move up in seniority. Well, being a young kid, I'm like, forget this. I got partying to do, even though I stayed home and watched TV all the time. So I didn't do it. I quit. I said, nope, I'm not doing that, and left. And I should have gone there and just stayed there. I'd be there probably 30 years now. How much would you be making 30 years at Roadway, or which would now be Yellow? Oh my gosh. So yeah, should have done it and stayed there. But can't look back on that like, I don't know what to do. So, but that's what I would do now. Yes. Is $21 an hour a lot of money to drive in Indiana? That's not bad here, right? As a 3-year veteran, I would like to dedicate a drop and hook job that pays good. If it pays overtime and you got 50 hours, you can certainly live with that here. Fleet Nav Systems, the Cliff Notes version. Sarah grew up around trucks and thought they were cool. You guys should check out the video. All right. That's a good reason. All right, head it out. Have a good day, everybody, and stay safe out there. Thanks, Fleet Nav Systems, for being here. I appreciate it. Check out Fleet Nav Systems for all Geotab questions and all logging questions, basically. And we'll see about that live show coming up. I have vending machines at warehouse where I make $2,000 a month on truckers' horrible eating habits. Thank you. Keep those Mounds bars in there. You wonder why health insurance is $2,000 per month. It's amazing they live past 50. Yeah, I mean, it's super expensive. Buying it myself, because I'd have to get it myself at the job that got offered to me, and buying it on the market is crazy high. Just crazy high. I'm like, no, I need another $500 a week to work there. And like, well, we can't do that. I'm like, I can't do it then. So there's a lot more to company. I only pay $74 a week for health insurance, which is good. after you look up buying it, considering how many things it covers. It covers so many things. What is the lowest pay that a driver should accept? 19 an hour? Would you accept 20? It depends what I'm doing, dope law. That depends. $20 an hour, what am I doing for that, Is it super easy, something I'm doing where I don't have super complicated things? I might take that for an easy spotter job. I may take something like that. But if I got to be 14 hours a day doing, 36 stops and doing all this stuff, no. And it depends where I live, too. Tina Jones heard that live in November. Mr. Crowley, I'm thinking of going flat with Central Oregon Transport. Hopefully they have a Western Regional. I do think they have a Western Regional up and down the coast there. And I love Central Oregon, too. Be sure to get lunch. They serve lunch regularly in their building for free to the drivers. I don't know if they're still doing that with COVID. I guess I shouldn't say that. I looked into that company right on their website, Major Ego Company. Which company is that? Cool driving job by ABC Worldwide Sports. Oh, the CBS News team, I guess. I wonder, those jobs are probably hard to get, driving those kind of trucks. My insurance said if it's over $500 since just the deer guard is pushed in but no damage to the actual body, they said go through them, and they hear but under 500 police report. Yeah, well, you may have a $500 deductible, and that's true. If it's close to that, then not worth doing. I'd still report it to the cops, though, to the popo. You shouldn't be able to get away with that. Come on. Run. That's a hit and run, although they probably won't care. They probably don't care. My picture is still in the reception roadway. If seen on premises, call the police team. Though that's probably true. The picture from then. They won't know me. Oh, that guy has a bunch of hair. Pride is hiring only 6 to 9 months experience, and they don't pay as much as others. My property taxes in New York were $5,500 a year on 2 acres, and now $650 a year in South Carolina on 7 acres. Lone Star. My mom's house in Lansing, Illinois, is around $6,500 for just a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for a year for taxes. So, and just on a lot in a subdivision. So there you go. Pride is a really good company. Everything is spot on except the pay. Jimmy, see, there's always one issue. But would you rather have more pay where things are not spot on? Think about that. It depends on what the difference is, I guess. But what if everything was not spot on? Would it be okay to have better pay? Michael Muller in Sauk Village. Yeah, I think it was Sauk Village, right? That's where that is in 394, right by the scale that nobody goes to. I never stop at that scale. I don't care if it says open or not. Women will come into trucking through YouTube female truckers like Miss Diva Trucker and keeping it 100. They will see that and be inspired by it, I believe. Dope law. That's not a bad way to do it. I wish the government would do more of that kind of marketing, and companies could do more marketing like that. They could have the women drivers that they already have make videos for them. Give them a camera and have them make videos, kind of do their own social media marketing campaigns. That would help bring women in to the industry. I'm buying a 3-bedroom house in West Virginia for $60,000, Luke. To see, that house in California is $1 million. So that kind of mortgage of $380, you can afford that. Highway Freak, is there anything worse than showing up 20 hours early for my last delivery before home time, 25 miles from my house, and the delivery time can't be moved up? No, that's pretty horrible. Go back to your house, or have somebody pick you up and say, I'll be back tomorrow. Would they do that? Your homeowners look into Aladial land patent title. That's a real title, not what you hold now. What about those titles that are being stolen on the internet? I heard about that. I'm like, who's stealing titles? I drove for Pride a year. Working conditions are better than what many, but the pay is 46 cents. 46 cents is not horrible. I mean, there are companies that we won't mention, like UX Express, paying in the low 30s, but I don't like to mention that. So 46, not terrible. So for 4 cents, if you're treated really, really well, would you quit to get 50 somewhere, not knowing how you'd be treated? That's the question. If that's really going on there. And Tony, they're offering $240 a day for a 10-hour shift being a spotter for Amazon and Joliet. I think that's not bad if you don't live in Chicago. I mean, Joliet is not is close to where it's expensive, but if you're off at 10 hours to deal with the DOT. That's what I was thinking about this spotter job, right? You don't have to go on the road. You don't have to fill a logbook out. You don't have to do anything. You just back in trailers all day. You don't even have to get down. Well, you might have to open the doors. Not bad. Not bad. It's $1,200 a week to not even deal with DOT or anything. Imagine marking a mullet. I came close to that several times. Used to part my hair in the middle in school, and I had a eagle necklace and a shirt that unzipped. Super cool. Looked good. My bestie works for Pride and likes it, Misty. So it's worth a few cents. She's taking a few cent pay cut, right? But worth it because you're getting treated well. I've got to drive now. Hopefully be back in a while. All right, let us know how it goes. And let me know this week how that test goes. DOT Transportation is a nice 4-on, 4-off schedule from their Huntington, Texas, DC, Texas Trader. Yeah, Dot Foods, which everybody's got to eat, right? You always got to eat. Dot Foods has a lot of different schedules, 4-on, 4-off, 7-on, 7-off. So they have all these different kind of schedules that you can do there, or you could just run the road. There's all kinds of things. They're worth calling if you need a specific schedule or want a different schedule than you're already getting. And no one that's ever written to me from that place has anything bad to say about it. I'll tell you that. Mr. Crowley, they're pretty sure they do have Western Regional. If not, you can check Chima Freight Lines out of Sumner. They mainly run I-5. I'm sure there are a lot of these places, right, that run on the West Coast. Don't worry if I see that car in a parking lot, it's going to have 4 flats. Well, we don't want to do that, of course. You mean 4 flat pictures. The problem in California is that the further you live away from the cities, companies tend to pay you less. It's a sliding scale against your cost of living. Move. I mean, seriously. Move here, and here in Lafayette, you're an hour to Indianapolis if you want to do that, where the pay is better. Get out of California, no doubt. And plus, I have the diesel price, California, $3.73, highest in the nation. Average price in the U.S., according to the DOT, is $2.97, although I paid $3.35 on Friday and noted to see what it was. Is it Roth or C or England? Jonathan Price. What does that mean? Face tattoo is greater than a mullet. What if you had both of those? I mean, you'd basically be in Roadhouse. I hate driving anywhere in California. I'd hate living there more than driving there, I think. I think living in the place would be the worst. What year did Freightliner make the first factory sleeper? Or the first factory truck, I guess, with a sleeping compartment, as it's called. And what year did that come out? Now, there had been sleepers that had been put on. What about where Freightliner made it themselves and put it on the truck? What year is that? I saw that. I go, I'm going to write that down and see what year that is. Okay, this dump truck driver too. I want to tell you about this. If you drive a dump truck, be careful. So a dump truck driver's driving around with the dump up, leaves a construction site, hits a sign, kills a guy in a pickup truck. The sign crashes down on his pickup truck. This dump truck driver is being charged with vehicular homicide. Vehicular homicide. You have to be careful about all that stuff. Holy mackerel. Plus, you killed somebody. Your career's done. Your life's probably over. Be careful. Watch your dumps. Do not drive around with it in an up position. There should be a light on the dashboard. But I remember I briefly drove a dump truck, a combination dump truck, and there was no light on the dashboard. It was a Mack, a twin stick Mack, but I didn't have a light. And I thought, I asked the guy, I'm like, how do you tell if it's down? He goes, well, you look at it. You just look. I'm like, oh, why isn't there a light? So there should be a light, but there isn't. And this guy hit a sign, an overhead sign, like went all the way across the highway. It knocked it down onto a pickup truck, crushed, boom, dead. Terrible. I don't understand it. I don't understand people doing that at all. April 4th, I will be in Brazil, Indiana, at the Petro. At exit 23 on I-70. Come on out and say hello. What time to be determined? Probably noon to 2, right in there, 1 to 3. We'll see what it is as we go closer, but it'll be early afternoon. Say hello. First one out gets the Gorilla Glue for their hair care products, and otherwise, I'll be at the Owida Tour Truck, not with Owida, though, so not sponsored by Owida, certainly. In fact, they don't even know I'm coming and may shoo me away, but I'll be in that area. Come out and say hello. We'll talk, and we'll see your TL truck if you have one. Check your mirrors. Yeah, I don't understand it. Shouldn't there be a light on the dashboard until it's complete, like your door on your car? If your door isn't shut, the light's on the dashboard with the little door open thing, right? That's on most cars, I got to believe. So even if you think it's shut, it's not shut. So unless the thing is all the way down, the light should be on. If it moves up a little bit, light on. That's how it should do it. Slim Shady, what are the odds? Tough way to go. Yeah, my wife would say it was time. She would believe that, well, it was their time to go or whatever. So I don't know if any of you believe that or just bad luck or whatever happened to him. But tough luck for that person, certainly, because they're dead. And tough luck for the driver because he's being charged with a major felony. Misty Rebka, 10 to 15 years ago, a waste management truck nailed an interstate bridge in Tennessee and shut it down. That's crazy. I mean, Stop. You got to look at this stuff. If that is up at all, you cannot drive it. Major Barrett. I worked JB Hunt for 25 years. When I quit, it was 2003. I was getting paid 42 cents a mile. Wow. 03. Yeah, but the pay has come up. 25 years, though. That's a long time at JB Hunt. That's a long. You must have had a good run. What did you do there? Did you have a dedicated run? That's usually when I find people stay at what is considered a beginner mega company. They get into a dedicated run and do pretty good. So, John Oakley, you have a lot of young women drivers out there with YouTube channel now. There's not that many. I mean, a few like Shelby, Kayla, Taylor, Dominique, and from Sweden you have Cassie and Angelica and a lot of others. Yeah, there's some. There's some people that have a YouTube channel. But what got them into trucking to start with? Other YouTubers? Maybe. Its forks were up and not folded. Oh, all right. Brilliant. There should be a light for that too. Anything that's not in its, road position, there should be a light. Then you have power to wash stuff off the sidewalks and have to hit bottom and start digging. JB Hunt local in LA is not worth their pay versus the hours. You won't have a life. Well, that's a lot of local jobs I'm finding. I see a lot of local jobs that are, 14 hours a day. I don't think that's worth it personally. Speaking of dumb, someone recently made me chuckle, painted on the bed, hey, mind the paint, you lever monkey. Yikes. California is even profiting off the homeless from the government. Saw a documentary. How do you profit off of homeless people? Or you just take the government money and do something with it? I mean, it's not like you could profit from homeless people. Why don't we see more Freightliner classics, like the Freightliner Classic, literally the name of the truck? Fuel mileage, right? I mean, companies, who's the majority purchaser of trucks, don't want to buy those trucks. They don't get fuel mileage. A company that has hundreds of drivers is buying hundreds of trucks every few years. Who's going to buy a Classic? Look at Swift. I mean, how many trucks a day? Buy thousands and thousands of trucks every year. So, no way. Should be a buzzer. A driver would cover the buzzer up, though, because it would be super annoying. Needs a buzzer that buzzes till the dump is down. Drivers would just poke holes in it. It wouldn't work. Let's be honest about it. Drivers are just going to do something to it, because the whole time the dump is up, that buzzer's going off. Drivers are not going to tolerate that. Aviator Trucker, when I was 1099, I could not get a mortgage, even though I had a mortgage in California with equity. They go by your Schedule C. There are companies now that are helping with that. That's true. But on 1099, you can get a mortgage. You just have to show enough money, 1099, right? So that's the problem, because many self-employed people, there are owner-operators that have mortgages. They're 1099. They're fully owner-operators. So it just depends how much you're getting. Dedicated Seattle to Southgate, California. That's correct, right? So you had a dedicated run. That's why you stayed. And that's what I tell people. If you're starting at one of these beginner companies like Swift or any of these mega carriers, any of them, and you can get yourself into a dedicated run, people seem to stay because the pay goes up. You don't have the hassles of the large company. The people stay. That's what you should try to work into if you want to stay at the place. Daycab Gear Jammer, you could profit from homeless people if you harvested their organs for the black market. Just trying to think outside the box. That is outside. That's literally outside the box that they're staying in. But I don't think that would be allowed. I miss the days when engines were given cubic inch numbers or horsepower numbers. Remember the 455? Yes. That's been quite some time, right? 70s. I missed the Volvo model. I saved 10% of fuel service. They sold 4,000 trucks to 2 fleet customers. Over there, though, they're all fuel efficient. I had a junky old GMC. Every time I hit a bump, the PTO would engage, and the box came up on me. Lucky I caught it quick, and the box was empty. Yeah, look, that could have hit a sign. Or what if it hit like a bridge and the whole box came off? That'd be scary. How about a strobe light? Something on the dash that warns people that the bed is up. They're in the up position. GP Transco, can we do another PS4 giveaway on the next Monday show? Word or two by accident and have an extra one. Yes. If you don't need it there, I'm sure people would love that, and I'll make a slide for it. That'd be really great. Yeah, sure. So thank you for that. Or you could put it in the middle of the basketball court. I understand it's still available for 3-point shots. So, 3-pointers at GP Transco gets free burritos. Not sure if that's an actual policy. 90% of the trucks broke down on the road. From what I could see are Volvos. Just like they put a piece of tape over the light. Yeah, that's the thing. The light, you're going to have to put the light somewhere too. I don't know what to do about it. The thing is, if right now there's no light. And so if they put a light and the driver covers the light, then I could see absolutely the driver being charged with something like this, right? When there's no light, the driver's got to do more. I don't know how to solve it. Is there a better way to solve it? Because they'll cover the light, then what? Drivers don't cover the other lights that are on the dashboard, do they? A PS4, you're behind. PS5. Beggars can't be choosers. That's what I always say. I have a PS2 here in the closet, by the way. I remember the 70s, 350 V8, 170 horsepower. Sweet. That was pretty good. And a Camaro Berlinetta. That would have been like a 83 Camaro Berlinetta. You could get 170 horsepower. Nice. When you didn't get the 4-cylinder. They're borderline impossible to get their hands on. Oh, are they really? Aren't they like $600 though for a PS5 for like a gaming system? You get a computer for that. What truck did Sylvester Stallone win in the movie Over the Top? Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know what movie he won. I don't know what year this first Freightliner sleeper was. No one has said. So, Volvo, home of the always on check engine light. That's great. Need a sign on the dash with a light that says the bed is ajar. Oh, you could have that voice from the 80s Chrysler LeBaron. Your bed is ajar. That lady that would tell you your door was open and stuff? Yeah. I wonder if she's still available. A light on a tip bed, that'll work for 25 minutes and get yanked off. That's the problem. People cover it or whatever. So what is the solution? Alert drivers that the bed is up. The truck, well, I'd say the truck can't move. The truck can't move over certain miles per hour if the bed is up. How about that? Limits the speed. That way it's in the computer of the truck. Drivers can't adjust it. It limits the speed. And then the next person, duh. If the dump truck is an automatic, the dump is unloading, should restrict the speed to 5 miles an hour. It could still pull up to unload. Michael Muller, right. Exactly. Great minds think alike. So limit the speed of the truck so that the driver has to get out and look. I left JB Hunt to work in Kuwait and Iraq and Afghanistan. All right. Would you recommend it, though? I mean, on your dedicated run, if you're there 25 years, don't you recommend the place? If you can get into a dedicated run? Better to train the driver to check his rig before departure. I'm sure he's trained in it, certainly. But people get lazy and complacent. And that's what we count on with the DOT, that they're lazy. So I know in the rain, very unlikely to get pulled around for an inspection because people just in general are lazy. So we can count on them just from basic psychology that people are lazy and would rather not do work that they don't have to do. So if your truck looks halfway decent, you probably won't get pulled over in a rainstorm. Same with the driver of a dump truck. They're just lazy. They're not going to do their checks. You find that with all drivers. Over time, they do less and less on their pre-trip and stuff. And so it'd be the same with the dump truck driver, I think. So that's why we need some way to alert the driver. I still have a Commodore 64 in the closet. I will have a Commodore 64 with the monitor and the 1541 disk drive and the plugs and everything. And when it worked when I put it away. So I have all that stuff. I have a Timex Sinclair somewhere also. So always a big computer person. Always like being on computers. I like having at least technology. Or just for the super trucker. Nice. We'll do that for next week, though. I think that'll be great. If you get paid by load and mileage, shouldn't you get 1.5 times the pay after 8 hours of overtime? JB Hunt gets away with not paying overtime. Not really. I mean, it's for hourly, and all they have to pay is 1.5%, 1.5 times minimum wage legally, right? And what's minimum wage even in California is probably 12, 10, 12 bucks. That's what, 12, 8, half of that's it's $18 an hour. You probably get more than that driving. If you're getting 40 cents a mile, it's $24 an hour. So they can still claim they're paying it, yes. And as transportation's exempt from minimum wage anyway, so we got some issues with that. I have a feeling most of y'all Americans can rent something modern. I can't do it. I can't do a lot of work on cars. I do some work. I used to fix my Fairmont all the time. Does that count? Highway Freak. Yeah, GP Transco. You just send it direct and save all the headaches of a giveaway. Sorry, I'm late to the party. Waiting in line to be loaded in Lapeer, Michigan. Pigpen. What are we loading in Lapeer? What is up there? You don't see broken down trucks here that often. You don't see them here super often like you used to. Most of the time you see somebody on the side of the road, they're usually checking their trailer connections, which means peeing on the highway. So how about just doing a walk around before driving, hence pre-trip for dump trucks? That's true. But look, we can all admit this. People get lazy and complacent over time. They're like, I'm just going to go. And then stuff happens. GP Transco, check out Volvo's new iSave launches soon in Europe. Will it be coming to America? We could strap homeless people to the dump beds, and they could yell at the driver to lower the tub. 2 birds, 1 stone. So that's basically employing people too, though, I guess. I tell everyone to go to JB and get a dedicated run. I mean, a dedicated at a place like that is probably better than being in the system. Probably. That's what I think. Yeah, you don't see, that's exactly correct. 10% fuel savings over a reference vehicle. That's pretty good. What's average fuel mileage over there? Plus your fuel, but your speed limit's lower too, so it doesn't really, you can't compare it. The best system to prevent you from driving too fast with the dump bed is proper training. If you can't drive the truck properly, you shouldn't be driving at all. Aviator trucker. I agree with that. People get lazy though over time. That's why there's continuing education and always emphasis on safety. People simply get complacent. That's what I count on at the scales. Bad weather. The DOT officer's a person, presumably, so they get lazy and complacent. They don't want to come out when it's snowing, when it's raining and stuff, so those days you're less likely to be inspected. Most trucking companies don't trust drivers to drive the truck, and that's why they have everything automated. By far, it's not to improve the performance, to replace the ignorance, aviator trucker, but they kind of have to, and some of smaller accidents will be prevented. Like what's been years now. When you get out of the truck and it's in drive, what happens? An alarm goes off, right? So, the horn starts honking or whatever to tell, hey, you're still in drive. So that's absolutely correct. Trucking with T-Bone is here. Hello. My first video game was a Pong console. Pong. Nice. Nice. We thought that was the most amazing thing. You can play Pong on your television set. You had to hook it up to the back so you could flick the little switch on the back to put the TV on channel 3. Oh, yes. 2 or 3. We had used 3 in Hammond because Chicago used channel 2 for CBS. It needs to be reprogrammed into the ECM so the truck is standard automatic. The dump won't go up if it's over 5 miles an hour. If it's a combination vehicle with the dump, same thing, extra wire. That's absolutely true. That'd be the way to do it. You own a 60 Camaro Z28. They started Camaros in, 67? So maybe you mean a 70 Camaro. The problem with the light for a combination dump is the truck doesn't know what kind of trailer is there. People should check mirrors. Well, that driver should certainly have checked, and I bet he probably thinks that now as well. He's like, you know what? I should have probably checked that. 49 or 55 depending on conditions. Right. So I don't think fuel mileage is comparable across the ocean because here, 65 plus, people are trying to go every day. Kelly, I'm waiting for Sony to come with their VR2 headgear. Then I'll get a PS5. Great for movies. Oh, so you can watch the thing through the thing on your head? Volvo needs to rename their shift lever to I can't drive. I like the way the lever works in those. My uncle quit trucking when he started seeing women driving trucks. Now he works as a plumber and makes $200,000 a year in New Mexico. Why would he quit because he sees women? There's dang women coming in here and what's going on with the world? Is it that kind of thing? Holy mackerel, what do they allow next? Next, these women going to be voting. Because there's women. Oh my gosh. Not only that, they're lazy, they're in a hurry, and they don't think about what they're supposed to do. That's true. Most dump truck jobs are paid by the load, and everybody's trying to do 100 loads. So it's a pay, just like the pay per mile. Pay per load encourages you to work faster, but not be safer. That's another reason why I liked Point dedicated at the daily pay. You can do a proper job and get paid a day's pay. I like that idea. Anybody that's in for a salary, I'm loving it. Because it encourages safety rather than encouraging speeding. Nevada Trucking and Trails. What do you think about trailer side skirts to prevent under-trailer deaths? There's a lawsuit just won against a carrier and manufacturer for not having them. The FMCSA was looking into that, and they're also looking into redoing the rear bumper guard. But yeah, they're talking about having skirts on the side that prevent cars from going underneath it. Now, I don't know if they would just simply reinforce the skirt that's there or have to build some kind of something else on the side of the truck. I mean, eventually we can't stop every kind of accident, and all that's going to do is add weight to the trailer. In some operations, that's going to affect them, and in every operation, that'll affect your fuel mileage. I suppose if they mandate it, companies will have no problem, but they'll have to comply with it, I guess. When I came back from the Middle East, I bought a Pete and a Great Dane reefer. All right, so now you run. Do you run for yourself? Do you have your own authority? Do you lease back on to JB Hunt? I think they take owner operators. Dump truck across the street just left the yard with the top cover frame pointing up. Well, at least that won't knock a sign down. And at least he's trying to use the cover. I see them all around constantly, rolling around with rocks and stuff and not covered. They're supposed to be covered if there's anything loose in there. Come on. It's a gearing issue, no problem reaching 90-ish, but ELDs and sometimes locked in the ECU. Right, it's the same problem. Yeah, they would do that here too. Mine only turns 1175 at 65, so it would go a lot faster. They raise the dump bag while driving to let their salt slide back to where the augers is. I got no problem with that. While they're on a site or whatever they have to do, no problem. But if you get out, well, we could limit it to like 10 or 15 miles an hour, whatever it is. And maybe at that time then, an alert goes off on the dash. A dash light comes on, a bed light or something that says bed once you reach that speed, and it won't go beyond that speed. Mandatory side rails here on trailers. Oh, how do they work? But if you're going to crash in, you want to aim for the wheels. Well, that's true. Would it stop a car, do you think? Also, four-wheelers could stop driving under trailers. Yeah, we could also maybe stop people from, being stupid and having their Tesla drive them around. Texting, all kinds of stuff like that. Maybe they could stop doing that and drive their car. But now the car makers are putting all this stuff in to encourage you to not drive your car. Logging trucks get paid by the load as well, Kelly. My brother-in-law owns a logging company and pays his drivers by the hour instead to help prevent problems. Do you think it helps prevent problems? Does he find that it helps prevent problems? Or does he think drivers are kind of dragging their feet on the loads? There's a system that's built in. It's an aluminum structure, extra weight and cost, but efficient. Just to avoid dips in the road. Imagine a high center would be more common sight. Yeah, here. Some of the earlier trailer skirts would get cut off. We had a number of problems with them because it was plastic all the way down to where it ended. Now the bottom, 8 or 10 inches, maybe even a foot of it is rubber on them. And I don't know if they asked for that or if the trailer manufacturers changed that. But so now the drivers get over humps and stuff because they're not paying attention rather than having the thing being ripped off all the time. Proper training for four-wheelers would help with that too, Michael Muller. Well, as you know, here in the United States, the training is minimal. In Indiana, at least when I got my license, there was no driver's ed required. Okay. And my dad wouldn't have let me go to it anyway. I wanted to take it. He wouldn't. You got your license a little bit earlier. But after that, you weren't allowed. Or you didn't have to take it. I never took it. I never drove, in fact, until the driving test. And passed it in a Plymouth Horizon. So pretty awesome. But I'd never driven and passed the driving test. That's how poor the driving test is here, really. There's a system that's built in. Let's see, where'd I go? Proper training for four-wheelers, I agree. Here they stopped paying for overloaded too, so only paid for legal weights. Well, good. I put my four-wheeler into a Scania, like how crazy, but you and the trucker find yikes. What kind of four-wheeler did you have? Tell me it's some kind of European. Saab. I knew it. I was hoping for something European. The skirts are only for pedestrians. What pedestrians getting run over by a truck? They don't even teach drivers ed at the school system, at least not where my kids went, trucking with T-bone. We haven't any kids in school for a long time here, so I don't know if they still do it or not. But it was $350 or $400 when I was in school, back in the Stone Age, when everything was still black and white. And so Kodak was still an actual company. And my dad's like, no way. You're not driving anyways, so I'm not paying for that. So basically that was the end of that. I didn't have enough money with my ice cream bicycle route that I had, so which he wouldn't have let me use it to pay for that anyways. Cane pole with string and tennis ball hanging in front of the windshield. Don't see it, the dump is up. That's a pretty good idea. Very old school on it. There are standalone driving courses you can take, cost a fortune, not worth it. Automation has increased the amount of wrecks compared to when you actually had to drive a truck and pay attention. They say that the more automation they put in a truck and a car, they think that it's going to increase accidents. That's correct. They said they shouldn't do this middle section where you go from driving to partial driving, where it takes over some of the driving. They don't like that because they did a bunch of studies with cars that kind of drive themselves and stuff, and they said people pay way less attention the more the car does. So they want to go. They said they should go from where you're driving, to 100% the car drives. If it can't do that, they don't like all this automated stuff because it just increases accidents. Donkey Bike got paid hourly when he drove a log truck and time and a half after 8. Oh, well, that's the way to do it. It was free at the school when I was in school, trucking with T-Bone. I think it was state dependent. Here it was expensive, and that was in Indiana and Hammond. At Hammond High, Wildcats. Donkey Bite had a Saab 9000. Was a cool car, right? Key down by this in between the seats. Always the thing about Saabs. Oh, GP Transco is going to take off early. Looking forward to next week's giveaway. Thanks for another good show. All right, well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you want to be treated well, go over to GP Transco, where a teal truck is not guaranteed and possibly not even in the yard. Don't know. They choose the trucks, not me, as somebody wrote in. Mark guaranteed me a truck. Not true. Was the Plymouth Horizon a K car? Yes, I had a Horizon. No, Plymouth Horizon. Okay, here's something, because I'm thinking of my Aries. The Plymouth Aries was the K car. The Horizon was the smaller version. Was smaller than that. It was a Dodge Omni Plymouth Horizon. Dad's car. He drove me to the test. I drove for the test, and he drove me home. So that's the only time I ever drove until he died. And I went up there and went out and got breakfast and stuff for my stepmom a couple times in their van. I never drove his car. So, a fun fact, Mark had to shop around to find a 65-inch HD 4000 black and white flat screen TV. Yeah, that weighed 400 pounds then, too. Oh, it's at a crosswalk. If someone walks while you turn, it should have a sign like those things on a school bus. As you turn, it swings an arm out and boots people right out of the way. Get them out and with like a bullhorn. Move it. How about that? What's a good dealer to finance a truck, Mr. Crowley? Well, if there's any owner-operator that can help with that, I don't know. I'm not an owner-operator. Don't have a desire to do it. So, honestly, I don't know anything about that kind of thing. Just don't finance it from the carrier. Don't ever do that. In Portland, Oregon, a lot of the buses are equipped with skirts that they'll kick a pedestrian out instead of getting sucked under. Oh, so it does. Tell me it like flips them up in the air. Oh, and if you hit that, do you have to pay the fare in the bus too? That'd be great. I'll look at our buses, which I've ridden here. We have a bunch of buses in Lafayette, one of the largest bus systems for its size city. I don't remember seeing anything on the side. We even have a couple of bendy buses, a couple of those big articulated buses. Sometimes, and I took one once from downtown. I don't remember why I didn't have the car. All the way to Meyer, which is like 8 miles. And no one was on it when I got on it, and no one was on it when I got off it. So I rode this $400 and some $1,000 articulated hybrid bus, a natural gas and electric hybrid bus by myself. 75 cents I paid for that ride. Brilliant. Sometimes when you pass cars, you see their wing mirrors turn orange. It's the dummier cars in the lane. Yes, mine does the same thing. Okay. The Escape has blind spot warning. That I like. And it has, it also has cross traffic detection. So when two people with gigantic pickup trucks for no reason park next to me in the spot I can't see when I'm backing out, the car can see for you. So between the camera and the sensors, the car will tell you if a car's coming and from which direction until it goes by, or a person or anything that's moving. So I like it. Michael Muller, I sent you a picture of my lights from Germany, and you need to get trained for every combination. They should do that here. As you move up combinations of vehicles, you should get trained for them. Exactly. Come clean now. You know it was really a Chevette. I wish. I like Chevettes, right? If you got those with the diesel. But Dad had a Horizon. He was always Chrysler guy. We had Furies, and he had a Cordoba. He had a Murata. So we were big Chrysler. Then they got Chrysler minivans. So always had some kind of Chrysler in the driveway. Polera. He had a Polera, Dodge Polera. You would think the drag on the dump truck with the bed in the air would be an indicator to the driver. Joe, yeah, I guess he didn't notice. He's like, kind of slow. Oh, well, just keep the RPMs up in this thing. Probably jamming out to some, Def Leppard or something. If you check your mirrors every 2 to 4 seconds, you should catch problems in your equipment. You should. You'd think you'd see, something different about what's going on back there, isn't there? Because this person was on the road where there's a bridge sign, a sign, one of those road signs overhead. So can we call you Rain Man? That'd be nice. I did watch Wapner a lot, 10 Minutes to Wapner. When I drove a double bottom dump, we had switches that were covered with a red switch guard. When you used to lift the guard up getting ready to unload, I felt it was dropping bombs from a B-52. Yeah, you got to flip those. Those switches used to be like that on trucks always. The fifth wheel slider was under that thing usually, so you'd have to flick that up so you didn't accidentally turn it on. Yeah. Look, just starting the lights on a Kenworth and a Mack, really, years ago, it was like launching a space shuttle. You had to flick 20 switches just to turn on the lights. The Grumpy Trucker, thank you for another great show. Thank you for being here. You know, I can't do this without everybody here. Sometimes I see local heavy wrecker toting around the big buses, full-size bus with 2 bendies. Yeah, how does that work? I mean, those guys take the longest loads going. I never did that, by the way. Never ran a dump truck or a tow truck. Dad, could I borrow the keys to the car over my dead body? That's basically it, right? Ask and drive. Nope, you're not driving. Don't ask me. You're not driving, period. You got a bicycle? That's good enough. So that's how I went through high school. Yep, the left-right express, which is your feet. I thought overhead interstate signs were supposed to break away in small pieces. Did the pickup driver also hit something else after getting struck? I don't know what else he hit, but they did say that the sign came down and it went completely over the lanes of the road. So it was like that, you know, went over this way and he hit it and it came down right onto a pickup truck. Literally crushed him to death instantly. Dead instantly. Couldn't have gone anywhere, they said. Hard to be a gangster with a stick. I never played the drums, so I can't shift and shoot a gun at the same time. Wells Fargo is a good finance company. All right, what about your own bank? How about that idea? Can you just go to your bank and, like a car loan? I mean, why couldn't you get a truck loan the same way you get a car loan? Is that possible? I don't know. I mean, if anybody owns a truck here, is that a possibility? If you ever saw a picture of a load with 2,000 ratchet straps on it, probably someone getting caught by the German DOT for loading 2 slip mats. Loading with slip mats. Yeah, strap that thing down. A noob Ernie. Hello. Hey, what's going on? Did the Cordoba have Corinthian leather? It did. It was gold and gold leather inside. Rich Corinthian leather. Beautiful car. Loved it. Hood went on for hundreds of feet. 318 lean burn. And that about 135 horsepower. Super slow. And it didn't. The lean burn was supposed to get fuel mounts. Didn't help because it still got 13 miles to the gallon. Old Saabs with the key on the floor are very easy to steal. They're used a lot by criminals. Also fast and good handling. That's why criminals like to be in a good handling car that looks good and is unusual. Always like the Saab key. It's in between the front seats. If you're ever getting a Saab and don't know where to put the key, it's between the seats. All the technology in trucks and cars is just an excuse for companies and DMV to lower training standards. Well, but you can't use that because I was curious about that and asked some people because this car, the Escape, will also park itself. Okay, all I do is hit a button and it'll pull itself into its parking spot, either parallel or perpendicular, but apparently you're not allowed to do that on the test, so they still make you park the car. Jameson Wells, I had a Chevrolet Citation. Oh, a friend of mine had one of those. And had a 4-cylinder that sounded like a farm tractor. Yeah, you had the V6 Citation. Had an X11. Pretty fancy, right? Citation. Those were something. Swedish company made crappy cars. They were a real Saab story. Ugh. Saab no longer with us. I like the cruise control. My Raptor can't stand it in the semi. Loves to slam the brakes at night because a bridge becomes an obstacle. I don't know why it's not fixed in the semi. Okay, like I have radar cruise in the Escape. I don't have any problems with it, right? It doesn't stop on every bridge. Why is it like that in a truck? The truck one is horrible, and it's everybody I talk to, it's horrible. So I don't know why Freightliner doesn't fix it. It's not like, oh, it's just you, Mark, you're stupid. I might be, but everybody, it seems to be having this problem with everybody, and that is the problem. Get it fixed. It's Mr. Plow. Keep the wheels on the ground. Yes, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. And always keep the rubber side down, as they say, or the rubber carbon compounds. And with driving the dump truck, sure gets too heavy, and you should at least feel that something is off. You would think, well, look with that big thing on top or whatever, it's swaying around, but apparently driver not paying attention, right? Got the Leonard Skinner on, just not paying attention what's going on. Saab guys usually have bumper stickers. Saab born from jets killed by people, and then a GM logo. Well, that is actually very true. It's Mr. Plow. Snap, you're late. A long night at the manhole. Tell me about it. Literally. But then again, Saab's been on the verge of going bankrupt since the 80s. People just didn't get them. They don't get it. I would think a credit union would be best for financing. Yeah, what about just your local place, wherever you already do business? Is that not possible? I don't know. Since I don't drive a truck, I don't own the truck. I don't know. I've never financed it like that. Just ask them for a loan. The German DOT does not mess around. I can imagine. They seem like not that they would not be and have a lot of humor in them. Your dad bought you a 65 Rambler American Flathead 6. Wow. Dad was not buying me a car, believe me. Michael Muller, truck loan is a business loan. Well, a bank, right? Okay, that's fair enough. A bank should have a business loan department, right? Where you can go, I need a business loan for a piece of business equipment. It would seem like. To me, I don't know. Hey, Gustavo, what's going on? George Wilson, back in the day, Chrysler Plymouth had the most plush interiors. Cadillac and Lincoln could not compete. That was a long day ago. That was quite some day ago. I'll tell you that. Because I looked at that Lincoln a few weeks ago. And I actually went later and I drove that car. That MKZ, V6, I'll tell you, it's pretty nice in there. A lot of fusion in it, but still, they upgraded a lot of stuff. Pretty nice. For some reason, the driving instructor at my old Air Force base knew the price of certain poles and light poles and traffic lights. Nice. Because they've been billed for them so many times. Every time they go out, they get billed for these kind of things. Oh, here's another bill. Somebody else took another light pole out. The Department of Labor, this is going to be a video this week too, probably, because it's interesting. So a company, get this, last year sent a letter to the Department of Labor because apparently you can query them for problems. And they said, we are not going to mention the trucking company, so I don't know who it is. It's a large company. And they said, do we have to pay our drivers for sleeper berth time? If we're off, if they're completely relieved of duty, they wanted a ruling from the Department of Labor, a letter. And here, get this, they said, for example, here's an example of how many hours one of our drivers spent in a sleeper berth. This is per day, 2.82 hours. The next day, 0 hours. The next day, 4.75 hours. Who is spending 6 hours in 3 days sleeping in the sleeper? Then 12, 11, and 7 hours in the sleeper. Now, let me tell you what. If you're getting 6, 7 hours of sleep in 3 days, you need to be back at a new company. Okay, you're not getting enough sleep. That's not a legal sleep on most nights. That's not enough legal off time. Regardless of that, the Department of Labor issued a letter on January 19th this year, which we know what happened right after that, and said no. Because the driver was relieved of duty, you did not have to pay for that time. And I said duty again. But there was a change of administration right after that. This administration just pulled back that letter. How about that? And said, whoa, wait a minute now. We are revoking that guidance. How about that? So that, it's got to be something that makes companies very nervous. They're going to revoke the guidance that you don't have to be paid if you're in the sleeper. Now, that doesn't mean you do have to be paid in the sleeper. Okay, that's not what it means. But what it is saying is that they're going to look at the fact that people are not getting paid, and they don't want a letter out there saying that absolutely, without a doubt, companies do not have to pay you just because you're in the sleeper berth. Okay, so that's pretty interesting, and I'd like to see where that goes. That's for sure. My son is getting his license right now, Michael Muller, and I asked him if they did parking yet, and he said no need since the car parks itself, so no need. So I cussed the instructor. Well, see, in the lessons, that's one thing. At the test, at least here, they said you couldn't use that. But not all cars do that. Okay, so because you have a fancy car, it does that. But I still think you should learn how to park, certainly. Never known that information will come in handy. That's true. A Swedish band called Yakada went to Germany in their tour bus, inspected, and all that stuff. Got a German DOT inspection, put it out of service. Dang it. Hope they don't do that to ABBA when they come over here. They had to send a lowboy to pick it up. Wow. That doesn't happen here. The German DOT should come and sit outside the Amazon warehouse in Lebanon, Indiana, here north of Indianapolis. Jimmy Ray Bubaloo. This is my last week as a local reefer driver. Starting dump truck. Oh, but pretty interesting. $5 an hour raise. No more 3 a.m. deliveries or weekends, and no more Cascadia radar computer. All right. $5 an hour, is going to be a considerable amount of money. And if the times are better, I think that's better. For me, right? You get the times that you want. I like doing the same thing every day. It gets you better sleep too, right? You feel better during the day and stuff. I just think it's a better way to do it, I think. Tina Jones is back. How did the driving go? C. Hill is here. Hey, drivers from Georgia. So that Freightliner made the first sleeper in 1950. So that was on a trivia thing today. The first sleeper that came from the factory was from 1950. They called it a sleeping compartment. So I don't have a picture of it. I wish I did. this administration, if they change that rule, I mean, that could change the game for a lot of these companies that are on the low end of the pay scale. Because if they mandate, so much money for sleeper berth time, that's going to be a problem for companies that are already low pay for your driving time. They're not going to be able to spread that out over all the sleeper time like they do now. Our inspection, is the truck on fire? No. Passed, exactly. All right, if you just roll through there, I've seen some pretty junk, everybody does, some pretty junky trucks. And I always try, if I see a junky truck coming up and there's a scale, I always slow down, let it pass me. Because I figure, well, let's get this guy in the scale first so that they'll pull that guy in, if anybody, before me. Fortunately, I only have the Ohio scale now, and it's not often open. The one coming back in Indiana, never open. Tina Jones wants a Volvo. I like the way they ride. I do like the way they ride. The older ones, the headlights, that's something to be desired. That's what he rides them with their brights on. But I think you'll like the way they ride. I like the Volvo I-Shift or whatever it's called. I think their automatics are better. I think they shift a little bit smoother. I guess, though, as a company driver, you get what you get. We only have one Volvo here, and it's not my truck, so I don't get to drive it. It's mostly Freightliners. And there's a couple of internationals scattered around, too, but I don't have one of those either, so I guess I'm happy with that. Let's see. George Wilson thinks, Mark, but who do you drive for? Well, as I do this show every week on Mondays, coming on 3 years now, I don't ever say who I drive for. It keeps them out of your videos, which is, I think, how you should do it. So, and also I don't recruit for them. If you want to recruit for your company, if you think they're great, go ahead. But I'm just not recruiting for them. I don't take money from trucking companies or anything either. So there's always that. And I think it's the only live show without ads. So that's how we do it here. So you can back then. Oh, they all back the same. That's the thing. People should not get in their mind that are driving that any truck backs any different than any other truck. It's all just a matter of angles, right? It's just math and angles. So they all back exactly the same. It's all in the angle. Get the angle going, set it up, it goes in. You got it made. It's all the setup, get the angles, and you're in. See, Hill, if you're going to be around Commerce, Georgia, be on the lookout for our cops misbehaving. Indy News is on the streets and has the FOIA body cams. All right, good. I think police should wear body cams and have them on. Oldest automatic Volvo I drive was an F86 from 1967. Yikes. If you wear it, make it a parrot, always, especially if you're driving. And even when you're not driving, it's pretty convenient for writing things down or taking calls or whatever. And as you know, once you become a driver, CDL driver, you're required to wear that into any truck stop, especially in the bathrooms. And if you're in a bathroom, be sure to speak as loud as possible so everyone else can hear you talking in the stall. So that's always policy. I don't get it, okay? There's always some guy in the stall. Oh, yeah, what's going on? Right? No, I'm not doing nothing. Okay. Can that call wait for 2 minutes? I'm busy trying to read a Jesus tract up here at the urinal. That's what I told the instructor, that he's not getting a fancy car like that, and parking and backing up is part of learning to drive. Agree. If he's unable to do so, I want my money back. I agree. All that should be part of learning, and then you can use these other things to help you. They're just assistance. You still need to be able to drive, because what if they stop working? Like in the car, if it didn't park itself, I would have to park it. So what would I do then? I would actually have to park the thing. I could not agree more. But every Volvo I pass there has yellow check engine light on. Michael Muller. Oh, of course. They always have an engine light on. That doesn't mean it isn't running good. It just means it has an engine light. I remember when you started the show. I can't believe that it's been 3 years. Dave Johnson. Well, it's been 3 years on the live show. So on a regular live show. Okay, it's been probably, I'll have to look, 5 years? At least four, maybe 4.5 years on the show, the channel itself. So, but I've been a consistent Monday on probably close to 3 years. Probably close to 150 consistent Monday after Monday after Monday show. So there you go. Not to pat my own back. I'm just saying that's what it is. For a great wiener, call Mark. For the best, you want the best wiener? We've got it right here for you. Or you can always meet me Saturday at the Manhole. Entry only in the rear. No front door at the Manhole. So I just don't understand. Look, if you're 2 hours, 4 hours, 12 hours, and 0 hours in 4 days, how is that? Why didn't the Department of Labor say, hey, you know what? Your drivers aren't getting enough sleeper berth time. You can't be on the road and have a 2, a 0, and a 4 hour and expect like that's some kind of legal thing. And people would say, well, Mark, he must have just left his house. Well, we got a 7 hour in there too. What about that day? So that's not enough hours. But I think it's pretty interesting that the new administration revoked that letter, that the company can no longer go on the fact that the Department of Labor says we don't have to pay you. So that's pretty good. Kelly, I take my phone into the shower with me and listen to YouTube videos. Yeah, that's one. Look, taking them in the shower and listening to the phone is certainly different than being in a stall and talking super loud. I think drivers did this years ago to impress everyone that they had a phone. That's what I always thought. Drivers would wear these little bitty headset things around. So you're like, oh, what is that, a surgeon walking in the truck stop in a dirty T-shirt and flip-flops? In a dirty white tank top? And guy must be a neurosurgeon. He's got a phone. So I don't know. I don't know about that. So, but they're still doing it. So Tina Jones, a rose for you. I appreciate it. The first rose of spring. Thank you very much. Would I rather have Max Force and our one box blues? Max Force. Cash King Trucking still renting out some Max Forces for lease for those interested. I understand there's less than 1,600 a week. So Roller Wiener or Chili Dog, your choice. Hey, there's no choice. If there's chili available out of that machine that's been sitting there warming it up, you have to use that. Right. Tina Jones, do you have a Bluetooth headset? I think now, right, everybody does. But early in cell phones, 10, 12 years ago, it wasn't as normal to have a phone. And so drivers would wear them into the truck stop, I think, and talk really loudly on them because that way they could have other people look at them and go, that driver has a phone. Look at that. Or people would, of course, think, that driver must be on call. He's so important. I hope we get our per diem back. That they keep talking about that every year, and then they put it off till the next year. So it'd be interesting to put that back. Some of the new Congress has said, yeah, hey, let's give this back to, that would help trucking by giving back per diem to drivers that they could deduct. That would be pretty good. That'd be a huge change in a lot of people's taxes. They got hosed that one year. Many drivers were writing to me, Mark, I owe $6,000, $8,000. I'm like, yes, you can't take that per diem anymore. So that was a real problem. I guess everybody's used to it now, but holy mackerel. Somebody spilled 30 pallets of Coke on the freeway. Really? Where, Atlanta, around the Coke plant down there? They're closing the one here in town, by the way. Not anyone cares. In Lafayette, they have a Coke bottling plant that is closing. But they're going to let the people commute to Indianapolis, I guess. I didn't read about this gigantic Coke spill on the highway. That kind of stuff does happen a lot. That's a hard job, too, by the way. I'm glad he's only listening to YouTube, but he's not doing selfies. Yeah, don't do any selfies in the shower. I guess you could do selfies in the shower. Maybe that'll be the next year's calendar. Trucking Answers Shower Selfie Calendar. 150 shows is 10% of the amount of lives Cash King has done this month. Yeah, look, I can't keep up with Cash King Trucking live shows. Okay, I just can't. But, yeah, absolutely. Have you ever thought about quitting trucking and just living off all the YouTube and making trucking content for other truckers? Dope law. If I wanted to live in poverty, YouTube does not pay anywhere near what probably people think it pays. Okay, it just doesn't. There's a lot of opportunities that come also that I don't take. Like there's tons of sponsorships. I get probably one a day to do stuff. There'd be commercials constantly, and I don't do them. So I don't get what a lot of people get. I could not come anywhere close to living on YouTube. Could not do it. It's not even a week's pay for my job for the whole entire month. Not even close, really. Some months it's only $400 or $500, to be honest with you. So, which seems, that's a lot. Not really, right? I answer 100 emails a week and stuff. It's nowhere near what you could live on for me because I don't take advantage of some of the things that do come my way. I'd be doing stuff about seats and head things and every gaming and musics and oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff. Books. Hey, Mark, here's some video game from China. Would you like to do a video? No. So I don't do all that stuff. Bose makes glass with speakers you can put on your prescription lenses. No more headset. But I don't wear my prescriptions all the time. Like right now, I don't have them on. I only wear them to drive. Plus, I have prescription sunglasses and prescription glasses. So I'd need like all these different, what I'm saying, I'd have to have all these different ones. So I don't know about that. You need a Tina Jones needs a Coke. After that, and a smile, right? Moving all the Coke factories to China, Gustavus. Are they really? Are they going to, I don't know. Are they going to ship Coke here from China? How much would that cost? Usually this stuff is light. Highway 44 in glorious Sweden. That'd be great. What are your thoughts about Pride and Arrogance? Oh, I love that show, by the way. Pride and Arrogance. That was I love that show. I mean, that is super awesome. I don't know. I don't know what you mean about, Pride and Arrogance. It's pride goeth before the fall, I suppose, and that is true. Coke is usually transported on 95. Yeah, right out of Atlanta, 85, right? I had a LeBaron convertible key car, 82 with rich Corinthian leather. So weren't those sweet, Roger Penske? That leather, I'll tell you, you can laugh all you want. Ricardo Montalban, who I met at a Star Trek convention. By the way, as Khan, I met him. Great guy. That leather, super nice in that Cordoba that my dad had. Do you know what happened to this guy Trucks? No, he's just not doing YouTube, apparently. He did put out a community post. I guess it's been a few weeks now that said he was not going to do YouTube anymore. And I've heard from people that he still drives. So that's the last I heard from him. And I hope he's doing good. If anybody knows anything, let me know. That's the last he said, though. Mark Ham and 24-hour roller Weiner delivery. That'd be great. The Who, could you make an OnlyFans for the ladies? I could. It seems like it would not be populated with many people. I will say that. So I could do it. Has somebody asked me where you work? Yes, they have, Freddie. I'm so sick of waiting an hour to get fuel because everyone parks there. It's getting worse every month. Mike up. And I thought the 30-minute thing would actually solve this, because you don't have to be off duty for 30 minutes. I thought, this is going to solve this fuel parking thing. It doesn't seem to work. It doesn't make any sense. Part of it is drivers. So there, Friday, I pull up to fuel. There's one truck at the Petro who's pulled up, and the rest of the fuel islands are empty. So I take the next island, because I know the island that he's in, the DEF doesn't work. It hasn't worked in a couple of weeks. So I guess maybe he knew that and he pulled through. So I pull up. The guy pulls up next to me behind him and gets out the fuel. Why are we doing that? Take one. There's like 6 other empty islands. What are we doing? Think, people. This guy will probably leave. Take one of the empty aisles. Ugh. Kelly, if I did selfies and showered, crack the camera wouldn't even allow it. It just a circle with a line would come through it. So I don't know where an OnlyFans would go. That's for sure. Gustav, what's your OnlyFans? OnlyFans? Yeah, we'll have to consider doing an OnlyFans site. That's great. I'm an owner-operator for YouTube. That basically right. That's about it. American Scrap Iron, E30, okay. But what about my Sonic? My glasses are transitioning, so I got one pair and wear one spare. Yeah, but they don't transition good in the truck because the light doesn't get in there right, and so I don't like transitions in the truck. They don't get dark enough. So I actually have prescription sunglasses, and those stay dark. They're nice, and they're wraparound, which I like from the 80s, right? Like blade kind, so they wrap around, and they make the lens in there, and it wraps around. It looks really good, I think. But it also keeps your eyes nice, and I've always worn wraparounds, and so I have wraparound sunglasses that are prescription. And I wasn't even thinking. I asked the guy at the prescription place, I go, well, how is the DOT? I said, I got to wear these for, to drive. How would the DOT know there's a prescription? And he goes, just give them to him to put on. And I go, oh, okay, right. I forgot. I'm almost blind. So that's correct. So that's what I do with it. I have prescription sunglasses. E30 is a legendary car, and M trim, a day cab gear jammer. I agree. Clemmy George, Smart Trucking does a lot of shilling for truck companies on his channel. He does. I mean, look, everybody runs their channel in a different way. I can't blame for that. It's America, right? Profit, and if you have the opportunity to make money doing that and want to, I can't really say anything about it, right? That opportunity is there for him to do. He takes it, and that's okay. That's okay with me. That's what opportunity in America is, right? So, absolutely. I'm sure he gets more offers than I do. He's got 100,000 subscribers. So then the more subscribers like that, it should pay more. So could he live on it? Maybe. Maybe he could. I don't know. I know he does a lot of ads. That's true. But it is America. America. I have an 89 carbon black 325i Touring M-Tech. Yikes. These people with these BMWs, fancy. I'm out here rolling in a Sonic. My OnlyFans users pay me to cut my clothes back on Misty. Maybe I could do a reverse OnlyFans. Mark, please, no more. Enough already. Stick shift and a 6-banger. Yeah, save the manuals. Hello, Mark. What do you think about heated wiper fluid for winter weather driving? I wish every truck had it. I don't know why they don't have it. I don't know why companies don't put it on trucks. It disappoints me to see companies talk about safety and not doing everything they can about safety when they say, we do everything we can for safety. That's absolutely not true. So until then, you can mix up to 50-50, 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I use Rain-X year-round to help the ice stay off, but up to half of it as isopropyl. It'll never freeze. Misty, you were understanding the creeps on the internet by a lot. They underestimating. That's true. I locked in a mirror once and the reflection went away. Yikes. The mirror turned. I actually turned by itself. I'm like, these are power? And the guy's like, no, I don't know how it's doing that. Mine worked just fine with transition in the truck. I never saw that, really. And you can't really get wraparound sunglass kind of glasses. So I don't know if those would look right. So I just like my wraparound sunglasses that I've always worn. I've always had wraparound kinds, and I just like them, Controversial. Oh, got it. See, I didn't get it, but now I got it. That's why I don't have an OnlyFans or a Mark selfie calendar, 2022 calendar. Mark does the selfies. And it could be like season-based. Like in the winter, we can do, have a scarf on. And in the summer, I could have a pool floaty on or something like that. Not sure how that would work. Not exactly sure how that might work, really. And most people are like, yikes. If you wear it, you should certainly make it a parrot, though, always, right? Get a blue parrot. Get something on your head. But blue parrot would be the best thing to have, right? I want to thank GP Transco for being here today. And I remember next week, and I'll write this down because I'm going to forget, will be a PS4 giveaway. Okay, during the live show, must be present to win, as they say, because it'll be given away on the live show. So that is much appreciated from GP Transco. We talked about Dot Foods today, too, right? Dot Foods, they have a different kind of schedule. They have the regular kind of schedule, but they have like 7-7, 4-4, this kind of thing, too. So if you want a different kind of schedule, Dot Foods. And remember, everybody's got to eat. You always got to eat. Fleet Nav Systems was here today as well, and I thank you for that. They're going to have a live show soon. We also mentioned Cash is King Trucking is Mr. Revenue, putting out live videos like there's no tomorrow. Maybe we could do a duet on part of the calendar. Don't forget about Jay. Jay does live shows during the weekend, also at night on Tuesdays. Jay is the impetus to get this show started, and I appreciate that very much. So that's how that goes. Don't forget about Jay. Euro green chrome wraparound glasses were the best. I got them right here. So absolutely, those are the kind of sunglasses I wear. I love them. I actually had a really creep. My guy run his hand up my skirt at a pilot years ago. Well, is that really necessary? You should have punched the guy or whatever. Personally, whatever he did to him, he deserves. So come on. And really call the police. This is why women would quit driving. Oh, I wonder why women quit driving. Oh, because people are running their hands up their skirts. That's crazy. Can we leave women alone to do their job? It's so frustrating. It's unnecessary. And Misty, I do appreciate you being here today. The Who was here today also, but I have to head off to work. Dave Johnson, thank you for being here. Dope Law was here. All right. What are the reasons that people get into an accident in a semi? They're not paying attention. That's most accidents. It's not paying attention. And most of the accidents in a semi are because some car is not paying attention. And so we have no choice but to hit them because they're being stupid. Controversial came in, which fooled me. But like the Who, I won't be fooled again. Daycab Gear Jammer was here. Michael Muller, I appreciate you coming in today. And you were first today. Also, Tina Jones. You were first the other day. Tina Jones, very close. And thank you for being here. Gustavo, I appreciate it. Let's see. Columbia George was here. Where did I go off to? Oh, Roger Penske. Hello there. It's good to see you. Was here today. And let's see as I roll up the thing. Kelly Patterson, it's good to see you in today. And let's see, but I have to head off or they're going to gripe at me as always. Jimmy Ray Bubbaloo, which is a great name. It's Mr. Plow is here. Thank you very much for that. Emergil Barrett, which is very close to a Star Trek name. That's why I get it confused. Highway Freak was here. And let's see, Mark Jones was here. But Donkey Bite, the Grumpy Trucker. And I do a Joe, right? And I'm going to head out to work. This is before they come and gripe at me. I want to thank everybody for being here today, and don't forget to get a roller wiener when you get a chance. big as you want, as they say, like this gigantic wiener. You want that thing coming at your face anytime soon. And be safe out there. There'll be more. I'm going to do something about this Department of Labor thing and a few other things this week, a couple companies, and that's what we're going to do. So I want to thank everybody for being here.